Chapter 23. You want to sign a life and death contract with me? You want to sign a life and death contract with me? Stopping, Ningyu turned around and asked, "Are you sure?" "I'm sure. I want to have a life and death duel with you." Lin Yang gnashed his teeth. From the moment he was defeated by Ningyu in one move until now, he had been thinking about killing Ningyu and getting back at him. Now that the opportunity had come, he naturally had to seize it. In his opinion, Ningyu was already an arrow at the end of its flight, a lamp without oil. It was impossible for Ningyu to cause any harm to him. Therefore, he proposed a life and death duel with Ningyu. Lin Yang is too shameless. He proposed a life and death duel with Ningyu at this time. This is called being able to see the facts clearly. Ningyu can refuse. If I were Ningyu, I would not agree. I would definitely admit defeat on the stage. Of course, only a fool would not admit defeat. Everyone had the same opinion as Lin Yang. Ningyu was holding on, and it was impossible for him to cause any harm to Lin Yang. Moreover, Lin Yang's strength was not just for show. He was at the peak of the early stage Hutian realm, only one step away from the mid-stage Hutian realm. "Please don't agree." In the distance, Lu Wei secretly said. With Ningyu's talent in alchemy, he can definitely enter Danwu College. There is no need to fight with Lin Yang here. Old Mo also felt that Ningyu would not agree. He knew that Ningyu was a person who had a sense of propriety and was a person with his own opinions. He should be able to recognize the current situation. There's no need to sign a life and death contract. Waving his hand, Ningyu leaped onto the stage and said lightly, "Because you can't even say the word admit defeat." Swish. As soon as Ningyu's voice fell, Lin Yang was directly dumbfounded. How arrogant must a person be to say such words? He actually laughed at me for not being able to say admit defeat. Humph. Aren't you afraid that the wind will cut your tongue? With a cold snort, Lin Yang rose from the ground and jumped onto the stage. Aya, why can't you recognize reality at all? Lu Wei was very angry, fuming. Elder Mo, I hope. Although she was angry, Lu Wei still said to Elder Mo, "Young mistress, don't worry. I won't let anything happen to Ningyu." Elder Mo knew how important Ningyu was to Snow Domain Pavilion. No matter what, he would protect Ningyu. In view of the appearance of the Corpse Yin sect, he had already requested the higher-ups of the Snow Domain Pavilion to transfer experts to protect Ningyu. Calculating the time, the experts of Snow Domain Pavilion would arrive at Tianxian City in 3 days. Elder Mo was confident that he could protect Ningyu for 3 days. Personality, I like it. At the edge of the square, the black-clothed middle-aged man found Ningyu more and more pleasing to his eyes. Ningyu's temperament was similar to his. I have to find time to meet him in advance. The middle-aged man made up his mind that he must first contact Ningyu to see how his talent in alchemy was. On the stage, Ningyu and Lin Yang stood face to face. Lin Yang's face was gloomy, his whole body was filled with killing intent. On the contrary, Ningyu was very calm, his aura was restrained, as if nothing had happened. "Let's see if you can still be so calm later." A cold light flashed in his eyes, and Lin Yang immediately attacked. Tiger Tremor Fist. 8th Fist, Tiger surpasses the heavens. He didn't attack before, but when he attacked, it was a killing move. Tiger Tremor Fist was a high-grade yellow-ranked martial skill. It was very powerful. Lin Yang was able to practice the 8th Fist, so it was naturally not a small matter. Ningyu didn't dare to be careless. His legs rushed out like lightning, and from an extremely tricky angle, he went straight for Lin Yang's ribs. Bang! This kick was not fancy, it was completely based on the strength of the body, he didn't even use his origin chi. But it was such a simple move that forced Lin Yang's expression to change slightly. Gritting his teeth, his fist collided with Ningyu's legs. Bang! Because Lin Yang's right hand was crippled, he could only use his left hand to execute Tiger Tremor Fist, so the power was reduced by a lot. Moreover, when Ningyu attacked with both of his legs, his other leg landed right on Lin Yang's lower abdomen, forcing Lin Yang to retreat to the edge of the fighting stage to remove the force. Ningyu's strength is so strong, he can actually block one of Lin Yang's moves. He didn't block one of Lin Yang's moves, but forced Lin Yang to the edge of the cliff. He was almost knocked out of the stage. Could it be that Ningyu still has the strength to fight? Ningyu didn't pay attention to the discussion of the crowd, because at this time, he once again rushed towards Lin Yang. Hit the snake where it hurts, don't hold back. If Lin Zhen didn't attack him just now, he wouldn't have decided to kill Lin Yang. Since Lin Zhen shed all pretense of cordiality first, then he naturally wouldn't hold back and choose to kill Lin Yang. You still dare to fight me head-on with your right hand crippled? You overestimate yourself. Earlier, he didn't use the Netherworld Samsara fist. This time, Ningyu formed a hand seal, arrived in front of Lin Yang, and punched out. Sure. The howling fist wind caused the air to rustle as it was torn apart. Facing Ningyu's punch, Lin Yang seemed to be dumbfounded as he stood rooted to the ground. What's going on? Someone exclaimed. Lin Yang can't be possessed, right? Facing Ningyu's fist, he actually didn't dodge. Shouldn't be, maybe he has some trump card. Soul suppression, it's soul suppression. No one noticed that the black-clothed middle-aged man at the edge of the profound sky plaza had an extremely shocked expression on his face. His mouth was slightly open, and his face was filled with disbelief. The strength of his soul force has reached the level of a grade 3 alchemist. Not simple at all. The strength of his soul force is so powerful at such a young age. With a little nurturing, he will definitely become a genius alchemist. No, I must accept him as my disciple as soon as possible. I can't let others beat me to it. A series of thoughts flashed through the middle-aged man's mind. In short, he had made up his mind that Ningyu would be his disciple. No one could take him away. The moment he made his move, Ningyu frowned and glanced in the direction of the middle-aged man. Could it be that someone saw through my soul suppression? Shaking his head slowly, Ningyu said, that shouldn't be possible. To be able to see through my soul suppression, the strength of his soul force must at least reach the level of a grade 6 alchemist. There shouldn't be any grade 6 alchemists in profound Sky City. He discovered me. Ningyu's gaze shocked the black-clothed middle-aged man. Thereafter, the middle-aged man murmured, that shouldn't be possible. Even if his soul force has reached the level of a grade 3 alchemist, it shouldn't be possible for him to discover me. Looks like I'm thinking too much. Bang! In the next instant, Ningyu's fist landed on Lin Yang's chest. A powerful force of Yuan Qi spread out from Lin Yang's chest, then engulfed his entire body. Poochie! Lin Yang's eyes widened as he spat out a mouthful of blood. He lowered his head and looked at his chest, then stretched out his right hand and pointed at Ningyu. You, thump. However, before Lin Yang's voice fell, his body fell straight to the back. Until his death, he was unable to understand what Ningyu had done to him that caused his brain to short-circuit. Just as he regained his senses, he was struck by Ningyu. Chapter 24. What? Lin Yang was killed in a single move. Isn't this too inconceivable? It is indeed a little unimaginable. It has completely exceeded everyone's expectations. Ningyu's strength has reached such a level, even Lin Yang, who is at the peak of early-stage Hutian realm, couldn't withstand a single move from him. Look, Lin Zhen's face is livid with anger. A bold martial artist pointed at Lin Zhen and exclaimed. Swoosh. Following the finger of the cultivator, the crowd looked over. Lin Zhen's face was ashen. The anger on his face could not be described with words, it was extremely great. Catcher. After casually shattering the chair beneath him, Lin Zhen abruptly stood up and said in a cold voice, Ning Hai, you raised a good son, but he's too daring. He dares to openly kill Lin Yang in the arena. Lin Zhen. Lin Yang did not admit defeat. Why can't you kill him? Ning Hai said with a faint smile. Ningyu used demonic arts. I want to check it. Lin Zhen snorted coldly. Lin Zhen, do you have any shame? Ning Hai's face darkened and he said in a deep voice, I'll make it clear. If you dare to touch Yuer again, I will kill you even if I have to risk my life. Swoosh. Ning Hai's words made Lin Zhen's heart skip a beat. He glanced to the side, not daring to act rashly. After all, Ning Hai's cultivation was at late-stage Xiantian realm, and he was only at mid-stage Xiantian realm. It was unrealistic to count on Wang Qinian and Zhao Lai. Lin Zhen knew better than anyone else that the four major families of Tianqian City were at odds with each other. Although the Zhao family and the Wangs were in the same boat with the Lin family, they were in an alliance. But they wanted him dead more than anyone else. Once Ning Hai made a move, Wang Qinian and Zhao Lai would not help him sincerely. Good, very good. Clenching his fists, Lin Zhen gritted his teeth and said, "The next battle, Lin Feng of the Lin family and Ning Yu of the Ning family. Hua." Lin Zhen's words caused another uproar. Some of the cultivators even started cursing loudly, not fearing Lin Zhen's despotic power. Lin Zhen is too shameless. Just a moment ago, he arranged for Lin Yang to fight against Ning Yu, and now he arranged for Lin Feng to fight against Ning Yu. Does he really think that Tianqian City is dominated by him? A peak Hutian realm martial artist said. Poochie. However, as soon as he finished speaking, a cold light flashed and his head fell to the ground. Holding the bloody head with one hand, Lin Zhen looked around and said coldly, "The martial arts round has already been arranged. If anyone is not satisfied, you can bring it up and we can discuss it." Silence. The Tianqian Plaza was abnormally quiet. Some low-level martial artists did not even dare to breathe loudly, afraid that Lin Zhen would punish them as an example to others. Nodding his head in satisfaction, Lin Zhen turned to Ning Yu and said, "Ning Yu, I will give you 3 minutes to rest since you just fought." 3 minutes to rest, only Lin Zhen can do that. Shut. Lower your voice, do you want to die? Yes, lower your voice. In view of Lin Zhen's decisiveness, everyone was very careful with their words, afraid that they would be shocked to death. 3 minutes to rest, huh? Frowning, Ning Yu waved his hand and said, "No need, I don't need it." As soon as he finished speaking, Ning Yu jumped onto the stage. At the same time, Lin Feng also jumped onto the stage. "Ning Yu, I didn't expect that we would meet so early. I originally wanted to let you live a little longer, but it seems that your fate is not good." The corners of Lin Feng's mouth curled up and he said with an evil smile, "Let's bring forward our deathmatch. I won't bully you. Rest for 3 minutes first and fight me when you have recovered to your peak condition." Lin Feng waved his hand, appearing very calm. Stretching out a finger, Ning Yu slowly shook it at Lin Feng and said indifferently, "No need. I don't need to rest to deal with you. Isn't Ning Yu too arrogant? He has the capital to be arrogant. He defeated Lin Shun in one move and killed Lin Yang in one move. His strength is already infinitely close to Lin Feng's. Although he killed Lin Yang, Lin Feng is at the middle stage of the Hutian realm. His strength cannot be underestimated." Arrogant. Lin Feng's face turned cold. He was so angry that his teeth chattered. His figure flashed and he was about to make a move. However, before he could move, Ning Yu said, "Lin Feng, does what we said 3 days ago still count?" Lin Feng said angrily, "Of course it counts. Of course it counts. Deathmatch, fight to the death." Waving his hand, Ning Yu said, "I am talking about the quota for the frozen cave test. If you lose, the Lin clan's quota for the frozen cave test will belong to the Ning clan. Of course, but it depends on whether you have the ability or not." Lin Feng said, clenching his fist. "Lin Feng, I suddenly feel that I am at a disadvantage in this matter." Ning Yu rolled his eyes and said, "Now the Ning clan has 2 quota for the frozen cave test, while the Lin clan only has 1. The stakes are not equal. This battle seems to be unfair to me. What do you want?" Lin Feng said, trying his best to restrain the anger in his heart. "How about this? The Lin clan will take out a top-grade yellow-class artifact, or a few dozen second-grade elixirs." After thinking about it, Ning Yu said casually, "It's a death match. At the very least, the stakes should be equal. Only then will I have the motivation." "Good lad, you really have character. I can't wait." At the edge of the square, the black-clothed middle-aged man's eyes were burning. He wanted to rush up and test Ning Yu's alchemy talent. Now, the more he looked at Ning Yu, the more he liked him. He was completely to his liking. "Elder Mo, how confident is Ning Yu in winning?" Compared to the previous battle, Lu Wei's worries were much smaller. After all, the power Ning Yu displayed had gradually conquered her. "It's hard to say. Even I can't see through him." Elder Mo couldn't be sure. because he was still puzzled as to why Lin Yang was out of his wits. Although he also thought of soul suppression, after all, the strength of his soul had reached the level of a fourth-grade alchemist, he only had a vague feeling and couldn't be sure. Moreover, the strength of Ningyu's soul was only at the level of a third-grade alchemist. If he wanted to use soul suppression, he must have extreme control over his soul. On the stage, Lin Feng shook his wrist and a scarlet flying sword appeared in his hand. This scarlet sword is a low-grade mystic class artifact. As long as you defeat me, it belongs to you. Lin Feng said coldly. A low-grade mystic class artifact. Not bad. Make your move. Nodding, Ningyu made an inviting gesture. Arrogant. Roaring furiously, Lin Feng dashed out like a wild horse out of control. At the same time, the scarlet sword in his hand made a rustling sound. With bursts of violent yuan qi, he slashed at Ningyu's head. Chapter 25. Am I seeing things, or is Ningyu a fool? Ningyu actually used his hand to grab the crimson sword. He must be crazy. The crimson sword is a low-grade mystic class magic weapon. Its power is boundless. How could Ningyu dare to use his hand to grab it? Who gave him the guts? Ha ha ha. I have to say, you are extremely arrogant. With a wild laugh, Lin Feng increased his speed, constantly injecting energy into the crimson sword. As if he could see Ningyu's miserable state when his hand was chopped off, Lin Feng's mouth revealed an evil smile. Crack. However, just as Lin Feng was imagining Ningyu's miserable state, a crisp sound entered his ears, and immediately a strong rebounding force caused him to retreat rapidly. You. The pain from his hand caused Lin Feng's expression to change drastically. You. A low-grade mystic class magic weapon is a low-grade mystic class magic weapon after all. With the strength of your energy, you can only display 20% of its power. How can you fight me? Shrugging his shoulders, after the strike, Ningyu did not follow up with another attack, but pulled a distance away from Lin Feng. Actually, how could he not want to follow up with another attack? But he had no choice now. The force from his palm caused his palm, and even his entire arm, to ache faintly. Even though he could only display 20% of the Crimson Sword's power, it was still a low-grade mystic class magic weapon. Blocking it was somewhat strenuous for an early-stage post-celestial being like him. If I'm not wrong, his cultivation level should be at the late-stage post-celestial being. Taking a deep breath, Ningyu's expression could not help but turn solemn. Originally, he thought that Lin Feng's strength was not much higher than Lin Yang's, at most slightly stronger. Now, it seemed that he was wrong, very wrong. Lin Yang was only at the early stage post-celestial being, but Lin Feng was at the late stage post-celestial being. The difference between the two was 2 levels. The difference in strength was naturally very large. In addition, the density of Lin Feng's energy was enough to reach the peak of the post-celestial being, so it could be said that Lin Feng's overall strength was equivalent to 4 or 5 Lin Yang's. That's what makes it interesting. With a cold expression, Lin Feng dashed out again. But this time, he kept his crimson sword and increased his speed to the limit. He wanted to fight Ningyu in close combat. Close combat, huh? Then I'll play with you. Ningyu kept waving his palms in the air, grabbing left and right without any pattern. Ningyu's actions puzzled everyone present. What technique is Ningyu using? Why haven't I seen it before? I don't know. Maybe he went crazy. It's impossible for him to go crazy. After all, he blocked Lin Feng's first move. It should be some kind of mysterious technique, or maybe it's his own creation. Energy gathering hand seal. It's actually the essence gathering imprint. Others might not know, but Elder Hiroshi was extremely shocked. What is an essence gathering handprint? Lu Wei asked in confusion. The so-called essence gathering handprint, as the name suggests, can quickly gather yuan qi. Elder Hiroshi's eyes were burning. He took a deep breath and tried to calm his excitement. He explained, the essence gathering handprint is very useful in alchemy. Because alchemy consumes a lot of yuan qi, and using yuan crystals to replenish it is too late, so some powerful alchemists created the essence gathering handprint. The essence gathering handprint can gather yuan qi in a short period of time, enough to support a cauldron of third-grade alchemy. Elder Hiroshi was also confused. He murmured, "The essence-gathering handprint is only in the hands of some big sects and alchemy families. Even the Snow Pavilion doesn't have it. How did Ningyu learn it?" At the edge of the square, the middle-aged man in black was already numb from the shock. He stood there in a daze. The shock that Ningyu gave him was too great, so great that it couldn't be any greater. Not to mention that his personality was to his liking, just the strength of a third-grade soul force was enough to shock him. Then, he used soul suppression, which made him even more surprised. Now, he used the essence-gathering handprint. If it wasn't for the fact that his heart was strong enough, he would have died a long time ago. The essence-gathering handprint is too precious. If I learn it, it is very likely that I will improve my alchemy. Originally, the middle-aged man in black thought that it was impossible for him to advance in alchemy. Now that he saw Ningyu use the essence-gathering handprint, he felt that his chance had come. He must seize this opportunity. Whoever made an enemy of Ningyu would be his enemy. He even wanted to go on stage himself and end this battle immediately, taking Ningyu away. No. Suddenly, the middle-aged man in black seemed to think of something. His expression changed slightly. At such a young age, a third-grade soul force, and the essence-gathering handprint. Could it be, he already has a master? The more he thought about it, the more he felt that it was possible. Even his expression darkened. Yin Wind Claw. In an instant, he arrived beside Ningyu. Lin Feng clawed at Ningyu's eyes. Go. The corner of Ningyu's lips curled up. With a flick of his wrist, a small ball of yuan qi flew out and met Lin Feng's sharp claw. Lin Feng's sharp claw caught the small ball of yuan qi and could not move an inch. Explode. With a low shout, the small ball of yuan qi exploded. The scattered yuan qi flew towards Lin Feng's head. Not good. Lin Feng's expression changed greatly, and he immediately retreated, only stabilizing himself when he reached the edge of the dueling ring. You don't dare to fight me head-on. You only know how to use some unorthodox method. After stabilizing his body, Lin Feng shouted, "Do you dare to take my punch? You want to fight me?" Slightly stunned, Ningyu did not think that Lin Feng would be so stupid as to want to fight him head-on. Did he not realize that he had defeated Lin Shun and killed Lin Yang with his fists? Moreover, he had also used his fists to block Lin Zhen's attack. Could it be that Lin Feng thought that he was stronger than his father? Ningyu, do you dare? Seeing Ningyu in a daze, Lin Feng thought that he was afraid. He mocked, "If you don't dare, I won't force you. After all, you are only at the early Hutian stage. I won't laugh at you." All right. Since you have invited me, I will reluctantly agree. Nodding his head, Ningyu said. You fell for it. On the high platform, Lin Zhen's lips curled into a cold smile. You are still too young. You can't even see through psychological tricks. Sigh, Ningyu should not have agreed. Lin Feng is clearly trying to go at him. Ning Tang sighed, a little worried. Since Yue has agreed, he must have his own plans. Let's wait and see for now. Ning Hai said calmly. Hehe, when Ningyu is killed, I want to see if you can remain as calm as you are now. Lin Zhen smiled. He did not think that Ningyu would win because Lin Feng had a hidden card. Once he used it, even a Xian Tian stage martial artist would not be able to withstand it, not to mention a Hu Tian primary stage martial artist. Ningyu, I admit that I underestimated you. Standing with his hands behind his back, Lin Feng said lightly, you won't be so lucky next. Do you think that I am only at the middle stage of the Hu Tian stage? You are too naive. As soon as his voice fell, an unusually violent yuan qi suddenly spread out from Lin Feng's body. Feeling this powerful aura, the expressions of the surrounding martial artists changed. Lin Feng has advanced to the late stage of the Hu Tian stage. Moreover, he is at the peak of the late stage of the Hu Tian stage. No wonder he is so confident. That's right. Ningyu is only at the early stage of the Hu Tian stage. How can he be a match for Lin Feng? If I am not wrong, Lin Feng's 2 attacks were just a test. He did not display his full strength. Chapter 26. I'll let you make the first move. If I make the first move, You won't have the slightest chance, Lin Feng said proudly and confidently. Are you sure? Ningyu asked with his mouth slightly agape. I'm sure. Nodding his head, Lin Feng said impatiently, if I let you make the first move, then make the first move. Stop being so wishy-washy. Fine, you're courting death. Don't blame me. Shrugging his shoulders, Ningyu's eyes suddenly turned cold. Stomping his right foot on the ground, he dashed forward. Ningyu's speed was very fast. In the blink of an eye, he appeared in front of Lin Feng. His fist brought up a gust of yuan qi and punched toward Lin Feng's chest. Ningyu was very focused because he knew that since Lin Feng dared to stand still and let him attack, there were only two possibilities. First, he was a fool. This was clearly impossible. Second, he was playing some kind of trick. This was very likely. Therefore, Ningyu's punch was just a bluff. It seemed powerful, but it was actually full of flaws. As long as Lin Feng counterattacked now, he had a 90% chance of killing Ningyu. Closer, just a little bit closer and I'll make my move. Lin Feng was able to endure. Even with a 90% chance of killing, he did not take the risk and chose to continue waiting. Sure. However, when he was a meter away from Lin Feng, Ningyu abruptly stopped. Why did you stop? Looking at Ningyu's action, Lin Feng was somewhat dumbfounded. I suddenly feel that it might be a little unkind of me to take the initiative to attack. After a slight pause, Ningyu said, because the moment I make my move, you will likely die like Lin Yang. Subsequently, Ningyu seemed to have made a very important decision. I've decided, I'll let you take the initiative to attack me. Isn't Ningyu being a little too much? Lin Feng is giving him a chance by letting him make the first move. That's right. After all, Lin Feng's cultivation is at the late stage of the Hutian realm. Once he makes a move, do you think Ningyu will be able to survive? It's hard to say. Lin Feng did not gain the upper hand in the two previous exchanges. I'm afraid it will be difficult this time as well. Ningyu, have you lost your mind? Looking straight ahead, Lin Feng could not imagine where Ningyu got the courage to let him make the first move. Moreover, he even said such arrogant and conceited words, saying that he could kill him in one strike. Dream on. Good, very good, you are very arrogant. Clenching his fists tightly, Lin Feng calmed himself down and said emotionlessly, originally, I thought that I was the most arrogant person in Tianqian City. I didn't expect you to be even more arrogant than me. Not bad at all. Shrugging, Ningyu declined to comment. 10th move of the Eerie Wind Claw, Eerie Wind Ghost Claw. With a low roar, Lin Feng leaped up from the ground. His sharp claws stretched out first, and his body leaned forward as he charged out. What? Lin Feng actually learned the 10th move of the Eerie Wind Claw, Eerie Wind Ghost Claw. Originally, I thought that Lin Feng only learned the 9th move. Who would have thought that he even learned the 10th move? This time, Ningyu is in danger. Although the Eerie Wind Claw is a yellow rank upper grade martial skill, the 10th move is comparable to a mystic low rank martial skill. Netherworld Samsara Palm, first move, Absolute Dus. Facing Lin Feng's fierce attack, Ningyu did not dare to be careless. Bending his legs slightly, the origin energy in his sea of consciousness surged and gathered on his wrist. Then, he pushed it out. Immediately, an illusory palm print appeared. Go! Ningyu shouted softly, and an illusory palm print quickly swept out. In the next moment, Lin Feng's sharp claws collided with the illusory palm print. Bang! When the palm print and Lin Feng's sharp claws collided, Ningyu's eyes narrowed and he shouted, "Explode!" Then, the illusory palm print suddenly exploded, and a strong gust of wind caused the air to scatter in all directions. Ah! A pig-like scream was heard. Lin Feng quickly retreated. But, at this moment, Lin Feng's right hand was bloody. 4 of his 5 fingers were broken by the powerful palm print. Only his thumb was intact. Beads of sweat rolled down Lin Feng's forehead. His face was ferocious. He no longer had the high spirits from before. His eyes revealed an extremely vicious look. Ningyu, you are finished. No one in this world can save you. Even though his right hand's fingers were broken, Lin Feng was still full of arrogance. It was as if he was the one who had the upper hand. You talk too much. This time, Ningyu chose to follow up with another attack. He did not plan to give Lin Feng any chance. With his right hand's fingers broken, Lin Feng's combat ability dropped by at least 30%, maybe even more. At his peak, Lin Feng's ability was similar to Ningyu's. As for now, Ningyu had 100 ways to kill him. Of course, this was under the premise that Lin Feng had not used his trump card. Once he did, Ningyu might lose. Ningyu knew that as the #1 genius of the Lin clan, he would not believe that he did not have any life-saving treasures. Corpse Lightning Pill. As his body flew out, Ningyu quietly placed the Corpse Lightning Pill he refined yesterday into his sleeve in case of emergency. 4 meters, 2 meters, 1 meter, 20 centimeters. Now is the time. Lin Feng constantly muttered in his heart. When Ningyu was only 20 centimeters away from him, his left hand suddenly reached into his robe and took out a small jade bottle. Devouring poison. The moment Lin Feng took out the jade bottle, Ningyu's expression changed. He could feel that the jade bottle contained devouring poison. Devouring poison, to be more accurate, was the upgraded version of the poisonous blood poison. If not for his early Hutian stage cultivation, Ningyu would not have been able to completely expel the poisonous blood poison from his body. If he had been poisoned by devouring poison, it would have been impossible to expel it from his body without a Xiantian stage cultivation. It's actually devouring poison. At the edge of the square, the middle-aged man's expression changed. He could also see that the jade bottle contained devouring poison. When he saw Lin Feng take out the jade bottle, he actually wanted to help Ningyu. But after thinking about it, he did not do anything. Through Ningyu's series of actions, he believed that Ningyu definitely had a backup plan. If Lin Feng wanted to use the devouring poison on him, it would be very difficult. I still haven't settled the matter of the poisonous blood poison with you, and now you actually want to use devouring poison to deal with me. With a wave of his sleeve, Ningyu directly threw the Corpse Lightning Pill towards Lin Feng's wrist. Supreme Guyuan Pill? Looking at the pill flying towards him, Lin Feng was slightly surprised. He did not immediately open the jade bottle. This was because from the pill that Ningyu had thrown out, he could feel the smell of the Guyuan Pill. In fact, before refining the Corpse Lightning Pill, Ningyu had taken a few herbs from the family's medicine pavilion to refine the Guyuan Pill. It was to add flavor to the Corpse Lightning Pill and make it look like the Guyuan Pill. Now that Lin Feng was the top player, he was momentarily stunned. Explode. While Lin Feng was in a daze, Ningyu moved his soul force and shouted, "Explode." Then, the Dark Corpse Thunderbolt Pill exploded. Catcher. Because it was relatively close to the jade bottle in Lin Feng's hand, the jade bottle was not spared and exploded together. Shoo. Shoo. After the jade bottle broke, the devouring poison inside scattered everywhere. Chapter 27. Not good. Lin Feng was indeed a postnatal realm martial artist. His reaction was extremely fast. The moment the jade bottle shattered, his left hand suddenly threw the jade bottle away. However, once the poison-devouring powder left the jade bottle, it scattered in all directions like a fish in the ocean or a bird leaping into the 9 heavens. Ah! Just as the poison-devouring powder came into contact with Lin Feng's arm, he gritted his teeth and activated his Yuan Qi to activate the Scarlet Sword, forcefully chopping off his left arm. Hiss! This boldness caused many martial artists in the mysterious Sky Square to draw in a breath of cold air. How much boldness was required to chop off his left arm after the fingers on his right hand were chopped off? However, the crowd's attention was quickly attracted by the severed arm in front of Lin Feng. Kai Kai! With a hissing sound, Lin Feng's arm began to corrode at a speed visible to the naked eye. Not long after, his arm disappeared. What exactly is in the jade bottle? Why do I feel a sense of fear? Thinking back to the fear that came from the depths of his heart when the jade bottle shattered, an early postnatal realm martial artist who was closer to the arena frowned. It's definitely not anything good. It should be an evil item, a forbidden item. An early postnatal realm martial artist said coldly, his arm has been corroded to the point it disappeared. If Ningyu is hit, the consequences will be unthinkable. Lin Feng gritted his teeth in hatred towards the clamor around him. A fierce light flashed in his cold eyes and he immediately rose from the ground, rushing towards Ningyu with a strong gust of wind. Swish! You overestimate yourself. Twisting his neck, Ningyu pushed off the ground with the tip of his foot and dashed out like lightning. A fist filled with countless fist shadows punched out fiercely, breaking through Lin Feng's defense and landing ruthlessly on his chest. Crack! An incomparably domineering force erupted in an instant, wreaking havoc on Lin Feng's chest. Poochie! The sharp pain from his chest caused Lin Feng to spit out a mouthful of blood. His body swayed in the wind and finally flew out with a bang, landing heavily on the arena. What? Lin Feng was defeated. This is impossible. Nothing is impossible. After all, Lin Feng lost an arm and 4 fingers on his right hand. Could it be that Ningyu is a Xiantian realm warrior? Elder Mo, did you see it clearly? Ningyu is only at the primary stage of the Hu Tian realm? Lu Wei asked with a frown. Nodding his head, Elder Mo said with certainty, Hu Tian primary stage. He should have advanced in the past 3 days. Lu Wei couldn't believe it. She said, Lin Feng is at the late stage of the Hu Tian realm. Ningyu defeated him in 1 move. Doesn't that mean that his true strength has also reached the late stage of the Hu Tian realm? After pondering for a moment, Elder Hiroshi said, from the looks of it, we must rope him in at all cost. Taking a deep breath, Lu Wei's eyes were filled with determination. That is indeed the case. Just now, I used the clan's voice-transmitting amulet, and the reply I received was to rope in Ningyu at all cost. Even if I have to, I will not hesitate. At all cost. Elder Hiroshi's eyes narrowed. He knew better than anyone else the meaning of at all costs. Snow Domain Pavilion urgently needed the good fortune pill and could not afford to delay any longer. Shio. At this moment, on the fighting stage, Ningyu's figure flashed. He turned into a cold light and directly attacked the fallen Lin Feng. Since it was a life and death battle, there was no need to hold back. No matter what, he had to kill him. Boy, you dare to kill my grandson? However, just as Ningyu arrived at Lin Feng's side, he was startled in his heart. He felt a swift and fierce gust of wind coming from his back as a rather arrogant voice resounded across the entire mysterious sky plaza. Shio. As the voice faded, a stooped old man rushed out from the crowd. Violent yuan qi swept out and filled the entire Tianxian square. Not good. It's the aura of the true martial realm. Feeling the yuan qi behind him, Ningyu's expression changed dramatically. Gritting his teeth, he changed his palm and ruthlessly chopped at Lin Feng's head. You're courting death. With a cold snort, the old man punched straight at Ningyu's head. Facing the old man's sneak attack, Ningyu gritted his teeth and quickly formed a spiritual energy-gathering handprint. With a backhand chop, he chopped at Lin Feng's head. Swoosh! Lin family ancestor, Lin Jingtian. Does Ningyu think that Lin Jingtian is Lin Zhen? How dare he kill Lin Feng in front of Lin Jingtian? He must be tired of living. Ningyu's actions this time were even more shocking than the head-on collision with Lin Zhen that day, and they raised their eyebrows in succession. After all, they were not fools. They could all see that Lin Jingtian had reached the true martial realm. In the next moment, a squeal like that of a pig being slaughtered rang out. Ningyu's palm ruthlessly chopped at Lin Feng's head. Flesh and blood splattered everywhere. At this moment, Lin Feng, who was in the advanced stage of the Hu Tian realm, died tragically. I'll tear you apart. With a loud roar, Lin Jingtian appeared in front of Ningyu like a ghost. Raising his right leg, he ferociously kicked at Ningyu's head. This kick was powerful and heavy, clean and tidy. If Ningyu was unlucky enough to be hit, even if he didn't die, he would be crippled. Looking at the legs that were inches away from him, Ningyu quickly turned around and clenched his fists. His eyes shone brightly. Swoosh! You want to kill me? Not so easy. With a cold look in his eyes, Ningyu secretly held the Yin Corp's Thunderbolt pill in his hand. As long as Lin Jingtian was just a little bit closer, he was confident that he could detonate the Yin Corp's Thunderbolt pill and injure Lin Jingtian. Lin Jingtian, if you dare touch Yu, I will not forgive you. However, Just as Ningyu was calculating the distance between him and Lin Jingtian, a familiar voice came from afar. The familiar voice in his ears did not make Ningyu relax. Instead, it made his expression even more solemn as he shouted, "Father, retreat quickly. Ning Hai, if you want to save Ningyu, you have to get past me first." Lin Jun did not expect his father to come out at this critical moment. However, he was even more furious that Lin Feng had been killed by Ningyu. Of the three geniuses of the Lin family, Lin Shun had been defeated, while Lin Yang and Lin Feng had been killed. Heavy casualties. After this battle, the Lin family would need at least 10 years to recover. If that was the case, why not kill Ning Hai when Lin Jingtian came out of his seclusion? Thinking of this, Lin Jun appeared in front of Ning Hai in a flash and suddenly punched out. Get lost. Ning Hai was very anxious, but he had no choice but to choose to fight with Lin Jun. Boom. In the next moment, a violent wave of Yuan Qi spread out in all directions with Lin Jun and Ning Hai as the epicenter. Swoosh. Ning Hai's eyes narrowed as he took a few steps back before stabilizing himself. Fart. On the other hand, Lin Jun spat out a mouthful of fresh blood. His face was slightly pale. Wiping the blood from the corner of his mouth, Lin Jun grinned, "Ning Hai, your son is about to be killed." Ha ha ha, damn it. Ning Hai's heart skipped a beat as he looked at the fighting ring. Chapter 28. Rustle. Lin Jingtian's hands were vibrating in a strange rhythm. Eventually, the Yuan Qi in the air above the fighting ring was affected, making a buzzing sound. His eyes were filled with murderous intent. In the next moment, a fist wrapped in violent Yuan Qi shot out, aiming for Ningyu's head. In your next life, remember not to offend the Lin family. As if he could already see Ningyu's tragic death, Lin Jingtian's lips curled up and he said coldly, "Hihi, Lin Jingtian, why don't you do me a favor and let Ningyu go?" However, just as Lin Jingtian made his move, a hearty laughter came from afar. "Today, Ningyu must die." Although the voice sounded familiar, Lin Jingtian's killing intent had been triggered. He would not allow anyone to save Ningyu. Damn it. If you dare touch him, you will be making an enemy out of Snow Pavilion. As soon as he finished speaking, Elder Hiroshi, who was beside Lu Wei, dashed out. A violent burst of Yuan Qi exploded, shattering the stone floor beneath his feet. His body moved like a ghost, his fingers clenched tightly. An extremely violent wave of Yuan Qi swept out, mercilessly attacking Lin Jingtian. Half a step into the true martial realm. Feeling such a strong wave of Yuan Qi, Lin Jingtian's eyes were filled with shock. Force him to retreat first, then kill Ningyu. Although Lin Jingtian was confident that he could kill Ningyu before Elder Hiroshi's attack reached him, he would have to pay a high price. He could be seriously injured by Elder Hiroshi. Although Elder Hiroshi was only half a step into the true martial realm, which was half a level lower than him, his strength was not to be underestimated. After all, Elder Hiroshi was an alchemist with a strong soul force. Cursing, Lin Jingtian temporarily gave up on killing Ningyu. With a wave of his sleeves, a strong wave of Yuan Qi suddenly swept out from his body. Peng! In the next moment, Elder Hiroshi could only taste sweetness in his throat. He was sent flying dozens of meters by the fierce Yuan Qi. His body landed heavily on the ground, and the stone beneath him was shattered by the violent aftershock. Shua! The sudden turn of events caused the expressions of the surrounding martial artists to change drastically. They stared dumbfoundedly at the old man who had fallen to the ground. Their mouths were slightly agape, but no words came out. Snow Pavilion. Elder Mo. Grade 3 Apothecary. Looking at the 3-star badge on Elder Hiroshi's shoulder, the surrounding people couldn't help but gasp. Originally, they were a little confused as to who had stepped forward to help Ningyu. Now it seemed that the truth was out. It was Elder Mo from the Snow Region Pavilion. It made sense. In Tianqian City, the only force that dared to go against the Lin family was the Snow Domain Pavilion. After defeating Elder Mo, Lin Jingtian did not kill Ningyu. Instead, he asked in a low voice, "Elder Mo, this is a matter between the Lin family and the Ning family. I don't think it's a good idea for you to interfere. After all, if Ningyu stayed there, he would not be able to escape." Elder Mo was the deacon of Snow Domain Pavilion in Tianqian City. Once he was offended, the consequences would be unimaginable. Therefore, even though Elder Hiroshi was forced back by a single move, it was not a big deal. Lin Jingtian did not dare to kill him. Cough, cough. After coughing twice, Elder Mo stood up from the ground. With a flick of his wrist, a golden badge appeared in his hand. On the badge, there were 3 stars flashing. 3-star badge. Seeing the badge in Elder Mo's hand, Lin Jingtian's eyes narrowed. Elder Mo said, "Yes, it is. Let me put it this way, Ningyu is now a 3-star deacon of Snow Domain Pavilion." Then, Elder Mo's tone gradually turned cold. He looked around and said coldly, "If the Lin family makes an enemy of young Master Ning, it means you are making an enemy of Snow Domain Pavilion." Whoosh. Elder Mo's words were like needles poking into Lin Jingtian's and Lin Zhen's hearts, making it hard for them to breathe. They did not have the guts to make an enemy of Snow Domain Pavilion. "Elder Mo, Ning, you killed my grandson. I cannot let him go like this," Lin Jingtian said in a low voice, unwilling to give up. Lin Feng was killed in a life-and-death battle with Ning Yu. Life and death are up to fate. Since it was a life-and-death battle, one of them must have died. Elder Mo's face darkened. After he mentioned Snow Domain Pavilion, Lin Jingtian still did not know what was good for him. This made him very angry. "But Ning Yu killed Lin Yang," Lin Zhen said. "Master Lin, I think you know the rules of the fighting round better than me. As long as one side does not admit defeat, even if he is killed, he cannot blame anyone else," Elder Mo said. "Good, very good." Taking a deep breath, Lin Jingtian tried to calm himself down. He stared fiercely at Ningyu on the fighting stage and said coldly, "Ningyu, don't think that you are absolutely safe with Snow Domain Pavilion. There are many things in this world that you do not know." As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Jingtian's figure flashed and he left the mysterious sky square. "The mountains will not change, and the rivers will continue to flow. Let's wait and see." As for Lin Zhen, after leaving behind some pleasantries, his body flashed and he led the members of the Lin clan away. After the Lin family members left, the mysterious sky square became lively again. "I can't believe that Ning Yu actually climbed up to Snow Domain Pavilion. It's more than that. Didn't you hear what Elder Mo said? Ning Yu is a 3-star elder of Snow Domain Pavilion. In Snow Domain Pavilion, only a true martial realm warrior or a 3rd-grade alchemist can enjoy the 3-star elder treatment, right? Ning Yu is only at the early Hutian stage. Could it be? He is a 3rd-grade alchemist. Impossible. How old is Ning Yu? At best, he is a 1st-grade alchemist. There is no way he is a 3rd-grade alchemist. Hihi, this time the Lin family really suffered a double loss. They went for wool and came home shorn. Of course. 2 of the Lin family's geniuses were killed, but Ning Yu is still standing on the fighting stage unscathed. As the Lin family members had left the mysterious sky square, the crowd dared to openly and boldly discuss. Swoosh. On the fighting stage, as he watched the Lin family members leave, Ning Yu quietly placed the corpse lightning pill in his bosom and let out a long sigh. "Fortunately, my identity was exposed yesterday. Otherwise, Elder Mo would not have helped me today." Ning Yu knew very well that Venerable Mo had made a move today because he found out about his identity and that he had an imaginary master. But no matter what, Elder Mo had saved his life. This was an indisputable fact. Looking at Elder Mo, Ning Yu said seriously, "Thank you, Elder Mo. I will return this favor." Waving his hand, Elder Mo said, "It was nothing. Besides, it was the first mistress who asked me to help. If you want to thank someone, it should not be me." Bowing to Lu Wei, who had rushed over, Ning Yu said solemnly, "I will try my best to contact my master about your elixir refining." Being stared at by Ning Yu, Lu Wei blushed. Feeling a little embarrassed, she said in a low voice, "In that case, thank you, young Master Ning." Master Zhao, Master Wang's, this time, the Lin family has chosen to withdraw from the fighting round. Do you think we can continue with the remaining rounds? Chapter 29. It's all Lin Zhen's fault. He actually changed the slots for his own personal gain. Now, Ning Hai won't let him go. After secretly slandering Lin Zhen, Wang Qinian laughed dryly and said, Ning family head, in my opinion, there is no need for the next match. Dao Er's cultivation is low and he is no match for young Master Ning. We choose to admit defeat. Hua. Wang Qinian's words once again caused a commotion in the Tianqian Plaza. Wang Dao is at the peak of the early Hutian stage and his strength is comparable to Lin Yang. Why would he admit defeat? If he doesn't admit defeat, will he be killed by Ning Yu? Ning Yu could even kill Lin Feng, who was at the advanced Hutian stage, let alone a mere early Hutian stage like Wang Dao. That's true. Wang Qinian knows how to adapt to the circumstances. Nodding his head in satisfaction, Ning Hai turned to Zhao Lai and said, in the next match, Ning Yu versus Zhao Xian. Before Ning Hai could finish his sentence, Zhao Lai waved his hand and smiled awkwardly. Xian is sick today. Therefore, we choose to admit defeat for the next match. Ning family head, something happened in the family. The Zhao family will forfeit today's martial arts round. Just as Ning Hai was about to speak, Zhao Lai continued. The Wang family has chosen to forfeit as well. Wang Qinian echoed, since all three of our families have forfeited, the 5 slots for the martial arts round will all belong to the Ning family. The Wang clan and the Zhao clan forfeited. Doesn't that mean that the Ning clan obtained 8 spots for the Frost Caves test? That's right. 3 days ago, Ning Yu won 2 slots. Today, he won 1 from the Lin family. In addition to the 5 slots for the martial arts round, the Ning family has a total of 8 slots for the Ice Cave. There are 8 slots for the Icy Cave assessment. As long as 2 of them pass the assessment and enter Danwu College, the Ning family will definitely dominate Tianqian City in the near future. 2 people passed the test. In my opinion, only Ning Yu of the Ning family can pass the test of the Cold Ice Cave. Whether he can enter Danwu College is still unknown. The rest of the generation like Ning Xian and Ning Hu are too far behind. Soon after, the Zhao family and the Wangs fled the mysterious Tianqian Square with their tails between their legs under the watchful eyes of the crowd. At this point, Tianqian City's most majestic icy cave test had ended. The Ning family was undoubtedly the biggest winner, obtaining 8 test slots. At this moment, Ning Yu's name would spread throughout Tianqian City and even the surrounding areas, becoming the object of praise. 3 days ago, Ning Yu single-handedly turned the tide and seized 2 spots to enter the frozen cave. Now, he showed off his prowess and killed the Lin family's geniuses, Lin Yang and Lin Feng. Moreover, he took a blow from the innate intermediate stage Lin Jin head-on and was not seriously injured. Hence, for a long time to come, Ning Yu would become an influential figure in Tianqian City. As for Ning Yu, he followed the Ning family back to their home. In the meeting hall of the Ning family, Ning Hai sat at the head of the table, while Ning Tang sat on his left. In the hall, Ning Yu, Ning Xian, and the rest of the younger generation stood side by side. Other than Ning Yu, the rest of them looked excited. Cough, cough. After 2 dry coughs, Ning Hai said in a clear voice, first of all, congratulations. You will represent the Ning family to participate in the assessment set up by Danwu College in Tianqian City, the Icy Cave assessment. The excitement on their faces intensified when they heard the words Danwu College. However, they didn't forget who had helped them win the Frozen Caves entrance exam. They all looked at Ning Yu with grateful expressions. If it wasn't for Ning Yu, they would not have this opportunity. Don't be happy too early. Ning Hai felt that there was a need to pour a bucket of cold water on them to prevent them from being arrogant and conceited. Let's not talk about whether you can pass the Cold Ice Cave test first. Even if you can pass it, wanting to enter the Danwu Academy is not that easy. The Icy Cave assessment is only the most basic part of entering Danwu College. Ning Hai continued, there are countless big and small cities in the Da Xia Kingdom. Generally speaking, Danwu College divides the Da Xia Kingdom into 5 regions, East, West, South, North, and Central. Even if you pass the Icy Cave assessment in Tianqian City, you will need to stand out in the second assessment before you can enter the capital and participate in the final assessment. You don't have to worry about these things for now. The most important thing now is to cultivate and work hard to increase your strength. Ning Hai waved his hand and said, follow Ning Tang. Each of you will receive a supreme-grade marrow cleansing pill and strive to break through to the acquired realm before the icy cave assessment in a month's time. Supreme-grade marrow cleansing pill. Hearing Ning Hai's words, everyone, including Ning Xian, was very excited. They did not expect the family to be so willing to spend so much money to buy a supreme-grade marrow cleansing pill. Usually, it would take some effort to buy a supreme-grade marrow cleansing pill. This time, they bought 8 supreme-grade marrow cleansing pills at once. Let's go. Ning Tang stood up, said goodbye to Ning Hai, and walked outside. Yua, come with me to thank Elder Mo and the others. If it weren't for their help, you would have lost your life. After Ning Tang left, Ning Hai said, fortunately, your grandfather and Elder Mo are familiar with each other. Otherwise, the Ning family would have suffered a disaster today. Elder Mo also promised to sell us 8 supreme-grade marrow cleansing pills. This time, we must thank them properly. Leaving the meeting hall, Ning Hai walked towards the living room. Ning Yu followed behind him quietly. Since his father thought that Elder Mo saved him because of Ning he would not point it out. In the living room of the Ning family, Lu Wei seemed to be discussing something with Elder Mo. Miss, I'm sure the Lin family will not let this go, Elder Mo said with a slight frown. We must mobilize the forces of the Snow Pavilion in Tianqian City to protect Ning Yu before the experts of the family arrive. Lu Wei paced back and forth. Her face turned cold, and a faint frost appeared on her pretty face. If the Lin family dares to attack Ning Yu, kill them. Miss, mobilizing the forces of the Snow Pavilion in Tianqian City may be a little troublesome. Hearing this, Elder Mo hesitated for a moment and said, recently, there has been a change in the Elixir Dragon Valley. All our forces in Tianqian City have entered the Elixir Dragon Valley. Right now, the only force we can mobilize is me. A change in the Elixir Dragon Valley. Lu Wei's face suddenly turned gloomy. She took a deep breath and said seriously, the Elixir Dragon Valley is also very important. We have to prepare for both sides. Ha ha ha, this time, thank you for your help, Elder Mo. Ning, thank you. At this moment, a hearty laugh was heard. Then, Ning Hai walked into the living room. After entering the living room, Ning Hai first bowed deeply to Elder Mo and said solemnly, today, Ning, owe you another favor. From now on, if there is anything you need, just say the word, and I will go through water and tread on fire to help you. Brat, come and thank Elder Mo. Chapter 30. With Ning Hai present, Ning Yu bowed respectfully to Elder Hiroshi and said, thank you for saving my life, Elder Hiroshi. With a flick of his wrist, a golden 3-star token appeared in his hand. Elder Hiroshi smiled and said, you are a 3-star guest of Snow Pavilion, we cannot watch you be killed. As he spoke, Elder Hiroshi handed the 3-star token to Ning Yu. Elder Hiroshi knew very well that now was the best time to tie Ning Yu to Snow Pavilion. As long as Ning Yu received the 3-star token, he could report back to the higher-ups of Snow Pavilion and complete the first step. Once Ning Yu became a 3-star guest of Snow Pavilion, coupled with the fact that he had helped him today, his master would definitely help him in refining the pill of good fortune. Elder Hiroshi, you must not. However, before Ning Yu could take the token, Ning Hai hurriedly said, it is enough that you saved Yu's life today. How could we dare to ask to become a 3-star guest of Snow Pavilion? Head of the Ning family, I have already announced Ning Yu's status as a 3-star guest in Tianqian Square. Do you want Snow Pavilion to lose face? Elder Hiroshi looked displeased. If Ning Hai was not Ning Yu's father, he would have already flown into a rage. The reason why he came to save Ning Yu was because Ning Yu had a powerful master who could help Snow Pavilion refine the pill of good fortune. But, fine. Seeing that Elder Hiroshi was a little angry, Ning Hai swallowed the words that were on the tip of his tongue. Elder Hiroshi, it would be disrespectful to refuse this 3-star guest status, Ning Yu said lightly after receiving the 3-star token. Goodbye. Seeing Ning Yu take the 3-star token, Elder Hiroshi nodded and walked out of the living room with Lu Wei. I will see you out. Ning Hai hurriedly got up and followed. As for Ning Yu, he returned to his room. After today's battle, Ning Yu knew that he was still very weak. Although he had already advanced to the early Hutian realm, he was strong enough to fight with a late Hutian realm martial artist. However, if he were to encounter a Xiantian realm martial artist, the consequences would be unimaginable. Power. If I had the strength of a Xiantian, or even a true martial realm martial artist, I would have killed that old bastard Lin Jingtian. Clenching his fists tightly, ever since his rebirth, Ningyu felt that he was not strong enough and urgently needed to improve his strength. With a flick of his wrist, a low-grade origin crystal appeared in his hand. Yesterday, I exchanged over a dozen low-grade origin crystals from Old Mo. Today is the perfect time to cultivate and strive to break through to the middle stage of the Hutian realm. Taking a deep breath, Ningyu slowly circulated the spirit transformation art. Strands of origin energy quickly swept out from the low-grade origin crystal and entered his body through Ningyu's palm. As Ningyu had taken a transcendent-grade marrow-cleansing pill during the body-tempering realm, the blocked tendons and meridians in his body were unblocked. Currently, Ningyu was able to cultivate with twice the results with half the effort. The qi whirlpool in his sea of consciousness was slowly expanding. Catcher. Not long after, a piece of low-grade origin crystal shattered, and the origin energy within was completely absorbed by Ningyu. Reaching into his robes, he took out another piece of low-grade origin crystal. After all, there were over a dozen low-grade origin crystals. Therefore, Ningyu was not stingy at all. After using one, he immediately took out another. Shosho. More than 10 pieces of low-grade essence crystals were quickly absorbed by Ningyu. Peng. When the last piece of low-grade origin crystal shattered, the qi whirlpool in Ningyu's sea of consciousness suddenly emitted a muffled sound and expanded by a full circle. Middle stage of the Hutian realm. Feeling the changes in the spiritual qi whirlpool, Ningyu let out a long breath. What a close shave. Because if he lost another piece of low-grade origin crystal, he would not be able to break through to the middle stage of the Hutian realm today. To break through to the late stage of the Hutian realm, I will need at least a few hundred low-grade origin crystals. I must think of a way to buy some mid-grade origin crystals, or even high-grade origin crystals. Frowning slightly, Ningyu decided to buy some mid-grade origin crystals. Because the origin energy within low-grade origin crystals was more chaotic and had a lot of impurities, using it for a long period of time would not only slow down one's cultivation speed, but it might even cause the realm to become unstable. Thinking of this, Ningyu immediately stood up and left the Ning family. Swoosh. Not long after leaving the Ning family, Ningyu's path was blocked by a middle-aged man. Ningyu, why are you in such a hurry? The middle-aged man asked. Liu Shan. Staring at the middle-aged man's eyes, Ningyu was slightly surprised and said, "The residual medicinal power of the soul-devouring pill in your body has been dissolved." Hihi, of course it has been dissolved. Smiling slightly, Liu Shan said proudly, "Ningyu, my family's young master wants to see you. I wonder if you can do him the honor." "No, that's not right." Staring at Liu Shan's eyes, Ningyu felt that something was wrong the more he looked. In the end, he slowly shook his head and muttered, "This method is rather insidious." On the surface, it dissolved the residual medicinal power of the soul-devouring pill, but in reality, it transferred it to the heart. Although Ningyu saw the problem with Liu Shan's body, he did not point it out. Instead, he said calmly, "Liu Shan, if I'm not wrong, the residual medicinal power of the soul-devouring pill in your body was dissolved by your family's young master, right?" "It was my family's young master who dissolved it for me." Liu Shan said, "My family's young master is holding a banquet in the Drunken Cloud Inn. Ningyu, let's go. Let's go. I also want to see who has such great ability to cure the hidden illness in your body," Ningyu said. "Let's wait and see." Snorting coldly, Liu Shan led the way in front towards the Drunken Cloud Inn. The Drunken Cloud Inn was the most famous inn in Profound Sky City. The Drunken Cloud Inn had a total of 4 floors. From the first floor to the third floor, they were respectively called the Human Pavilion, Earth Pavilion, and Heaven Pavilion. Among them, the Human Pavilion had 16 private rooms, the Earth Pavilion had 8 private rooms, and the Heaven Pavilion had 4 private rooms. The fourth floor was the Supreme Pavilion, which only had 1 private room. It was rumored that since the establishment of the Drunken Cloud Inn, Only 3 people in the entire profound sky city had ever entered it. The conditions to enter the Heaven Pavilion were also very harsh. Not just anyone could enter. Zhong Wenyong, I heard that Ningyu's strength is not bad. He can already kill late-stage post-celestial martial artists. You have to take it easy. In the Heaven Pavilion's number 2 private room, a youth in embroidered clothes waved the jade fan in his hand and said with a smile, "Profound Sky City is such a small place. How powerful can a late-stage post-celestial martial artist be?" Zhong Wenyong said coldly, "I can kill trash like Lin Feng with one hand. As long as Ningyu dares to come, I dare to show him who's boss." Zhong Wenyong, don't go too far. After all, Ningyu is the Snow Pavilion's 3 stars consecrator. If you kill him here, Lu Wei will definitely be angry, Jifeng said. Keek. At the mention of Lu Wei, Zhong Wenyong clenched his fists and made cracking sounds. I want to see what kind of divine being Ningyu is to actually be able to become the Snow Pavilion's 3 stars consecrator. Today, I want to check whether he has the 3 stars consecrator token or not. If he doesn't, hehe, no one can save him. Although Elder Mo publicly announced that Ningyu was the Snow Pavilion's 3 stars consecrator, in Zhong Wenyong's opinion, killing Ningyu was nothing. After all, he had just arrived at Profound Sky City today. Even if he killed Ningyu, he could say that he didn't know about Ningyu's identity. Zhong Wenyong, I really don't understand. With your identity as the Zhong family's second young master, what kind of woman can't you get? Why do you only love Lu Wei? Jifeng said while waving the jade fan. I just like her. Zhong Wenyong said coldly, whoever dares to snatch her from me will be my enemy. Actually, Zhong Wenyong had a sentence in his heart that he didn't say out loud. The Snow Pavilion's pavilion master only had one child, Lu Wei. Obtaining Lu Wei meant obtaining Snow Pavilion's support. Chapter 31. In Tianxian City, a restaurant like the Drunken Cloud Brothel had guards in front of it. Liu Shan quickly walked to the guard and showed him a token. He then pointed at Ningyu and walked towards the restaurant. I didn't expect these 2 guards to be at the middle stage of the Hu Tian realm. Ningyu was shocked. Originally, he thought that the Drunken Cloud Brothel was just an ordinary restaurant. Now, it seemed that the power behind it was very strong. Even the Ning family and the Lin family, which were big families in Tianxian City, only had guards at the early stage of the Hu Tian realm. In front of a small restaurant, there were 2 middle-stage Hu Tian warriors guarding it. From this, it could be seen that the Drunken Cloud Brothel was not simple. Zhong. Ningyu's eyesight was very strong. Although Liu Shan had only shown the token for a bit, Ningyu could still see the big red words on the token. It seems that Liu Shan's family head should be surnamed Zhong. Frowning, Ningyu searched through his memories but couldn't find any family with the surname Zhong in Tianxian City. Since he couldn't think of it, Ningyu didn't think about it anymore. There would always be a way out. Counter soldiers with arms and water with an earth weir. Taking a deep breath, Ningyu strode into the Drunken Cloud Brothel. Entering the Drunken Cloud Brothel, Ningyu saw Liu Shan walking straight to the 2nd floor. At the entrance of the 2nd floor, there were also 2 guards. However, these 2 guards' cultivation was higher than the previous one. They were at the late stage of the Hu Tian realm. Showing the token again, Liu Shan entered the 2nd floor. Since he was already here, Ningyu's face was solemn as he followed closely behind Liu Shan. After a while, they arrived at the entrance of the 3rd floor. Peak of the Hu Tian realm. At the entrance of the 3rd floor, 4 guards stood side by side. Their cultivation had reached the peak of the Hu Tian realm. Wait here, I will go and report. This time, Liu Shan's token didn't work well. One of the peak of the Hu Tian realm warriors shouted and turned to enter the 3rd floor. Not long after, the peak of the Hu Tian realm warrior returned and said to Liu Shan, "You can go in." "Yes, thank you." Although Liu Shan was also at the peak of the Hu Tian realm, he was still respectful and didn't dare to act rashly. "He can go in, you can't." Then, just as Ningyu was about to enter the 3rd floor, the postliminary realm warrior who had just spoken blocked his way and coldly said, "The 3rd floor of the Drunken Cloud building is not a place that anyone can enter. Big brother, this is a guest invited by Zhongshao, do you think?" Seeing Ningyu being stopped, Liu Shan hurriedly said. Drunth rules, Liu Shan was, Liu Shan, the guard said, Liu, 1-Shan, Shan, Shan Liu, the Shan is, Liu, 1, smiley face, Shan, Liu Shan, this. Liu couldn't. Yun, 2 Shan Liu, 1 Shan, Liu Liu, Tian Realm, Shan, 2, 2, 2, King, Shan, Liu said 1. Yang, Tian Shan, Liu is, Ningyu, wait here. I'll go ask young Master Zhong. As he spoke, Liu Shan did not dare to stay any longer. He quickly walked toward the Sky Tier Room 2. Ningyu shrugged and leaned against the staircase. Since the guards did not allow him to enter the 3rd floor, he would not force his way in. Gentlemen, I would like to ask what are the conditions to enter the 3rd floor, Ningyu asked since he had nothing to do. First, the Pavilion Master's invitation. Second, his status must meet the requirements, a guard said. What kind of identity and status are you allowed to enter the 3rd floor? Ningyu asked calmly. The 4 clan heads of Tianqian City, the guard who spoke just now continued, and in the end, he added, of course, a 3rd-grade alchemist or a true martial realm cultivator is qualified to enter the 3rd floor without the permission of the Pavilion Master. Oh. Nodding his head, Ningyu chose to close his eyes and rest. Since young Master Zhong invited him here, he naturally wouldn't put him here. This was nothing more than a show of strength, and he didn't care. Look. Isn't the one standing at the staircase of the 3rd floor Ningyu? Ningyu? Which Ningyu is it? Even Ningyu doesn't know. The young master of the Ning family refined a 1st-grade elixir in the alchemy competition for the quota to enter the cold ice cave. In the martial competition, he even killed 2 geniuses of the Lin family. So it's him. What is he standing there for? Could it be that he wants to enter the 3rd floor? That doesn't seem realistic. Even though he has become the most popular person in Tianqian City, he is still a little weak compared to the 4 clan heads. That's right. In my opinion, he wants to enter the 3rd floor but was stopped, so he's standing there in a fit of pique. After advancing to the middle stage of the Hutian realm, Ningyu's eyesight and hearing had increased a lot. Therefore, he could hear all these whispers. How could Ningyu lower himself to their level? He continued to close his eyes and rest. Ha ha ha, young Master Ning has arrived. Please forgive me for not going out to welcome you. A moment later, a hearty laughter came from the 3rd floor. Then, a young man walked out with a smile. He came to Ningyu's side and said with a smile, What, do you want to do me the honor of coming in and have a seat? You are. Standing up, Ningyu asked. Ningyu, this is my young master, Zhong Wenyong, young master Yong. Liu Shan coldly snorted. Pa. A crisp sound was heard. Zhong Wenyong had slapped Liu Shan's face and angrily said, How can you speak to young Master Ning like that? Hurry up and apologize. Yes, yes. Liu Shan viciously looked at Ningyu and hurriedly nodded. There's no need. Young Master Zhong, may I know why you invited me here this time? Waving his hand to stop Liu Shan, Ningyu indifferently said, If there's nothing else, I'll return first. Invite you? You're not worthy. Zhong Wenyong cursed in his heart, but he did not show it on his face. Instead, he said, I heard that young Master Ning displayed great power in the competition for the slot to enter the ice cave. Even the advanced stage Hutian realm Linfeng was no match for you. I've heard a lot about you and specially came to pay a visit. If it's just a visit, I don't think it's necessary. We don't have any interactions anyway. This will only waste each other's time. Ningyu said. If that's the case. Hearing Ningyu's words, Zhong Wenyong's face turned cold. His whole body released his aura and he coldly said, Are you not giving me, Zhong Wenyong, face? In the capital, those who do not give me face will not have a good ending. Threatening me? Raising his eyebrows, Ningyu was a little displeased. He did not know Zhong Wenyong's identity, nor did he know where he came from. He did not offend Zhong Wenyong, right? But from Zhong Wenyong's behavior, it seemed as if he owed him a few hundred yuan. But from Zhong Wenyong's tone, he should have come from the capital. Moreover, his family's power was not weak in the capital. It could even be ranked at the top. I did not dig up his ancestral grave. Is there a need to be so ruthless? Ningyu was also very clear that before he found out Zhong Wenyong's true identity, he had to be very careful. If you must feel that way, then just treat it as a threat. Chapter 32. Not only are you threatening me, but you also want me to be your slave. Hearing this, Ningyu's expression darkened as he said coldly, "Today, I will not give you any face. What can you do to me?" From the aura that Zhong Wenyong emitted, Ningyu was certain that Zhong Wenyong was at the peak of the post-liminary realm. Zhong Wenyong was only 18 or 19 years old, but he was already at the peak of the post-liminary realm. Since he came from the capital, he was naturally very powerful. "What can I do to you?" Zhong Wenyong finally revealed his fangs and claws. "Don't think that you are invincible just because you killed that trash, Lin Feng. To tell you the truth, I can kill trash like Lin Feng with one hand. TSK, I didn't think that the famous young master Ning of Tianxian City could not even enter the third floor of the Drunken Cloud Pavilion. How sad." Zhong Wenyong curled his lips and said, "Forget it. Since you do not have the ability to enter the third floor, I will not lower myself to your level. Otherwise, I will lose my identity." Waving his hand, Zhong Wenyong turned around and walked towards the second room. Hey! Ningyu did not expect Zhong Wenyong to suddenly make such a move and was stunned for a moment. He did not think that Zhong Wenyong would be so kind because when Zhong Wenyong left, he secretly signaled to one of the guards. This action was very subtle, but it was still noticed by Ningyu's sharp senses. TSK, who is that? How dare he speak to Ningyu in such a manner? Didn't he say it just now? In the capital, anyone who does not give Zhong Wenyong face will not have a good ending. From this, it can be seen that he is from the capital. This time, Ningyu is in deep trouble. He offended a genius from the capital. Even if he has the support of Snow Domain Pavilion, it will be hard for him to get anything out of this, right? Zhong Wenyong is quite generous to not lower himself to Ningyu's level. Of course. Ningyu does not even have the qualifications to enter the third floor of the Drunken Cloud Pavilion. How can he be Zhong Wenyong's opponent? This move is indeed vicious. Ningyu knew very well that the moment he left Drunken Cloud Manor today, this fearful reputation would fall. In the future, no matter what he did, he might be looked down upon. Even if he were to go to the capital in the future, his actions would definitely be exposed, and it would be detrimental to his cultivation in Danwu College. Hence, he must go to this Drunken Cloud Inn's third level today. Moreover, he had to enter openly. On the fourth floor of the Drunken Cloud restaurant, a man sat upright. He picked up the tea on the table and took a sip. Not bad, this tea should be the Drunken Cloud tea. I didn't expect this old man to have so much face, to be able to receive such high treatment. Hehe, Elder Guan must be joking. My father has warned me 1,000 times that if I neglect Elder Guan, my father will definitely kill me. Opposite to Senior Guan sat a woman who was about 20 years old. She had black hair and crescent moon-like eyebrows. Her slender and bright face set off her natural beauty. I came in a hurry this time, so I only brought the Drunken Cloud tea. The next time Elder Guan visits Drunken Cloud Manor, my father will definitely bring out the Crouching Dragon drunk tea to entertain Elder Guan. Little girl, you are such a sweet talker. With a smile, Elder Guan asked, why didn't your father personally come to the Elixir Dragon Valley this time? Recently, there has been some turmoil in the family. Father really can't leave, the young woman replied. It's not a bad thing that he didn't come. Based on my observations these few days, I discovered that the Elixir Dragon Valley is not the abode of an alchemist. At best, it's the abode of a 5th-grade alchemist, Elder Guan said after taking another sip of tea. Elder Guan, a 5th-grade alchemist is naturally not attractive to an alchemist like you, but to us, it's already beyond our reach, the young woman said. Nodding, Elder Guan said, that's true. There's nothing wrong with the younger generation coming here to gain experience. Then, Elder Guan changed the topic and said, recently, I found a good seedling in Tianxian City. I believe he will also enter the Elixir Dragon Valley. When that time comes, I hope that you can help me keep an eye out for him. I don't want anything to happen to him. Oh, who is Elder Guan talking about? The young woman's eyebrows twitched. She was a little surprised. Since Elder Guan said he was a good seedling, his alchemy talent was certainly not bad. Even in Danwu College, only a few could enter Elder Guan's eyes. She didn't expect that in this small Tianqian city, there would be an alchemy genius that Elder Guan had taken a fancy to. He seems to have run into some trouble. Right now, he is at the entrance of the 3rd floor. Elder Guan tapped the table with his finger and said lightly, he should be stopped. Who dares to do this? How dare he stop the person that Elder Guan has taken a fancy to? The young woman's face turned cold. She was about to stand up. However, Elder Guan waved his hand and gestured for her to sit down. You don't need to go. That kid is now a Snow Pavilion's 3 stars elder. He is qualified to enter the 3rd floor of the Drunken Cloud Inn. Snow Pavilion's 3 stars elder. This time, the young woman was no longer calm. Even her pretty face was filled with shock. She understood the identity of a Snow Pavilion's 3 stars elder. He was either a true martial realm or a 3rd-grade alchemist. Elder Guan was an alchemist, so the former was definitely impossible. Then, it could only be the latter, a 3rd-grade alchemist. In the end, who had such a high talent in alchemy, to be promoted to a 3rd-grade alchemist at such a young age? One had to know that even she had barely reached the level of a 2nd-grade alchemist. Little girl, I know what you are thinking. Elder Guan was a smart man. How could he not see through Xiao Yunlan's thoughts? Sometimes, Elder Guan really envied old man Xiao Yunlan because he had a 19-year-old daughter who had reached the level of a 2nd-grade alchemist. Every time they were together, Elder Guan would be ridiculed. Little girl, Ningyu is not a 3rd-grade alchemist, nor is he a true martial realm martial artist. In order not to hurt Xiao Yunlan, Elder Guan said, I told you, he is a good seedling. With a little training, his achievements in alchemy will be limitless. I know. Elder Guan, you really scared me. Xiao Yunlan patted her plump chest, rolled her eyes and said, but I am looking forward to seeing this Ningyu. What kind of divine being is he that Elder Guan thinks so highly of him? Sure. At the same time, at the entrance of the 3rd floor of the Drunken Cloud Inn, Ningyu flicked his wrist and the 3 stars token of the Snow Pavilion appeared in his hand. Can I go in now? Taking back the token, Ningyu said lightly. What did you just take out? Take it out and let us confirm. Because Ningyu's speed was extremely fast, even if the 4 guards were at the peak of the Hutian realm, they still couldn't see it clearly. One of the guards knew Zhong Wenyong's identity. At that time, the owner of the Drunken Cloud Inn had warned him not to offend him. Zhong Wenyong's order was his order. Therefore, the guard didn't dare to offend Zhong Wenyong. He could only use Ningyu as an example. Give us that token, we want to check it. Humph. Who do you think you are? How dare you doubt the authenticity of the Snow Pavilion's token? With a cold snort, Ningyu's face became gloomy. Even if your owner is here, he wouldn't dare to talk to me like this. Chapter 33. Hihi, who is so arrogant that even I don't dare to talk to you like that? When this light laughter rang out, the slightly noisy Drunken Cloud restaurant instantly quietened down. The middle-aged man's speed was not fast, but it was very rhythmic, approaching Ningyu step by step. Late-stage Xiantian, feeling the aura of the middle-aged man, Ningyu's face turned serious. It's Pavilion Master Song. Didn't Pavilion Master Song leave this morning? Why did he come back now? I'm afraid he's here for Zhong Wenyong. More or less. Zhong Wenyong comes from the capital, so his family's power is definitely not weak. It's natural for Pavilion Master Song to come back personally. After a short silence, some warriors finally started discussing. But due to the deterrence of Pavilion Master Song, they did not dare to discuss loudly, but whispered. You are Snow Pavilion's 3-star guest. Coming to Ningyu's side, Pavilion Master Song said lightly, take out the token, let me check. Being able to become the Pavilion Master of Drunken Cloud Inn, Song Fei was not an ordinary person. Although he felt that Ningyu was bragging, he still had to check to be sure. Early this morning, Song Fei left Tianqian City for some matters, so he did not know about Ningyu's 3-star guest status. If he knew that Elder Mo had announced that Ningyu was Snow Pavilion's 3-star guest, he would not have such an attitude. After all, no one wanted to offend a third-grade pill master in Tianqian City. Since the pavilion master of Drunken Cloud Inn was here, Ningyu reached into his robes, wanting to take out the token. Pavilion master, just now. At this moment, a guard hurried in front of Song Fei and whispered a few words. Gradually, Song Fei's face darkened, and in the end, he even stared coldly at Ningyu. With a wave of his sleeve, Song Fei said coldly, "You cannot enter the third floor." Hearing this, Ningyu also felt that there was no need to take out the token, so he asked in a deep voice, "Why? Is Snow Pavilion's 3-star guest not qualified to enter the third floor?" Snow Domain Pavilion's 3 stars consecrator is naturally qualified to enter the third floor, but today's situation is a bit special, so the third floor is already full. Song Fei said, "If you don't mind, you can go to the second floor, the first room." Song Fei was not stupid. Compared to Ningyu, Zhong Wenyong's status was much higher. Putting aside the authenticity of Ningyu's identity as a 3-star elder of the Snow Pavilion, even if it was true, he was still worlds apart from Zhong Wenyong. Just the title of the second son of the Zhong family in the capital was something that Ningyu could not hope to achieve. Besides, Zhong Wenyong was also a strong contender for the position of the Zhong family head. If he succeeded, he would be an existence comparable to the Manor Lord. How could Song Fei dare to offend him? So, after weighing the pros and cons, Song Fei decided to help Zhong Wenyong. Of course, the Snow Domain Pavilion was also a colossus that could not be offended. Therefore, Song Fei settled for the next best thing. He wanted to arrange for Ningyu to enter the first Earth room. "What if I insist on entering the third level today?" Ningyu asked with a frown. "Humph. You don't know what's good for you." With a cold snort, Song Fei revealed his whole body's aura and crazily pressed down on Ningyu. In Song Fei's opinion, giving Ningyu the first Earth room was already very generous. He did not expect him to be so ungrateful. "According to the rules, my status is enough to enter the third floor of the Drunken Cloud Tower." Resisting the pressure of Song Fei's Yantian advanced stage aura, Ningyu said, "Rules? Ha ha ha." As if he had heard the funniest joke in the world, Song Fei laughed wildly. Then, he changed the topic and said, "In the Drunken Cloud Tower, my words are the rules. How about this? If you insist on entering the third floor, it is not impossible. Take one move from me." Stretching out a finger, Song Fei smiled evilly and said, "As long as you can take one move from me, I will allow you to enter the third floor. And I will also invite you to the first heaven room." Swoosh. Within the second heaven room, Ji Feng waved his jade fan and said, "Zhong Wenyong, aren't you going a bit too far? If that little demon Xiao Yunlan finds out that you used Song Fei to suppress Ningyu, the consequences will be very serious." The corners of Zhong Wenyong's mouth couldn't help but twitch when he heard Ji Feng mention the little demon, and then he said, "I did not do that kind of thing. It was all Song Fei's own decision. Speaking of which, I am really looking forward to it." Ningyu was able to become a 3-star revered of Snow Pavilion, so he should have some trump cards. Today, he resisted a move from Lin Zhen head-on. Ji Feng said, "How can a patriarch of a small family compare to Song Fei?" Zhong Wenyong regained his composure and said, "Don't worry, I have a sense of propriety." A piece of high-grade origin crystal made Ningyu lie in bed for a year. Even though it is a bit of a loss, it is worth it for Lu Wei. The first heaven room. Song Fei has some guts. He actually wants to invite someone to the first heaven room. A thin man in his mid-20s said coldly, "It's okay. That young man's cultivation is only at the middle stage of the Hu Tian realm. It will be a bit difficult for him to resist a move from Song Fei." A young man in light blue clothes waved his hand and said lightly, "Even if I use my full strength, I can't say that I can resist a move from Song Fei." "Young master, is Song Fei really that strong?" The thin man was a little surprised. The thin man knew the young master's strength very well. If the young master did not have the confidence to resist a move from Song Fei, then that Ningyu would definitely not have an advantage. Song Fei's cultivation is at the late stage of the Xiantian realm. Moreover, he has practiced the Thunder Fist to initial success. His strength is enough to compete with a warrior at the peak of the Xiantian realm. The young man said, I guess that Song Fei will not use his full strength. Once he uses his full strength, Ningyu will definitely be killed. Song Fei doesn't have the guts to kill a 3-star revered of Snow Pavilion. Wow. Song Fei's words directly caused an uproar in the Drunken Cloud Inn. Does Ningyu dare to take a move from Song Fei? It's hard to say. After all, Ningyu took a move from Lin Zhen today. In my opinion, he should agree. How can Lin Zhen compare with Song Fei? One is at the middle stage of the Xiantian realm, and one is at the late stage of the Xiantian realm. Even 3 Lin Zhens are not a match for Song Fei. Even if that's the case, Song Fei's words are too much. Ningyu will definitely not tolerate it. Even if you can't tolerate it, you have to. If you can't bear it, then it's very likely that you will suffer a setback today. Many warriors were very clear that Lin Zhen and Song Fei were not on the same level. Being able to take a move from Lin Zhen might not necessarily be able to take a move from Song Fei. The gap between the middle stage and the late stage of the Xiantian realm was very big. Ningyu was silent. He did not agree immediately. He was weighing the pros and cons. Seeing that Ningyu was silent, Song Fei thought that he did not dare to agree. He remembered that Zhong Wenyong had promised him high-grade yuan crystals. He quickly said, "How about this? I will only use 30% of my strength to deal with you." Chapter 34. 10 mid-grade yuan crystals. Am I seeing this correctly? That's 10 mid-grade yuan crystals. Song Fei is really willing to spend so much just to exchange blows with Ningyu. Is he not afraid of failing miserably at such a simple task? This is a sure-win situation. Ningyu will not be able to receive even one move from Song Fei. Even if it's only 30% of his strength, it's still impossible. 10 mid-grade yuan crystals. Looking at the yuan crystals in Song Fei's hand, Ningyu's eyes narrowed as he said in a low voice, "I agree." If it was only to enter the 3rd level of the Drunken Cloud Inn, Ningyu would not have agreed so readily. After all, Song Fei was a late-stage Xiantian expert. His strength was not something that Lin Zhen could compare with. Right now, Ningyu was in urgent need of yuan crystals. 10 mid-grade yuan crystals were extremely attractive to him. With these 10 mid-grade yuan crystals, he could reach the late-stage Xiantian realm before the icy cave test. Ha ha ha, straightforward indeed. I'll leave these 10 mid-grade yuan crystals here. As long as you can receive one move from me without collapsing, they're yours. With a loud laugh, Song Fei placed the 10 mid-grade yuan crystals on the ground and gestured towards Ningyu. Ningyu knew that this was not the place to exchange blows. Hence, he walked towards the 1st level. The 1st level of the Drunken Cloud Inn had an incomparably wide lobby. "It's not too late to back out now," Song Fei said as he pulled away from Ningyu. "Make your move." Taking a deep breath, Ningyu secretly adjusted his condition to its peak. "Good, I admire your courage." Giving a thumbs up, Song Fei's hands moved rhythmically. Around his hands, some yuan energy gathered. Rushing thunder fist. Seeing the changes in Song Fei's hands, a sharp-eyed warrior exclaimed, "It's actually the rushing thunder fist. This time, Ningyu is in danger." Rushing thunder fist. Song Fei's famous technique. A low-grade profound ranked martial skill, Song Fei has already trained the Thunderbolt Fist to the realm of initial success. Even if it's only 30% of his strength, with Ningyu's cultivation, it's impossible for him to block it. What? Didn't Song Fei say that he would only use 30% of his strength? How did he use the Thunderbolt Fist? Is it the Rushing Thunder Fist? The surrounding exclamations didn't cause Ningyu to panic in the slightest. He quickly formed hand seals with his palms and yuan qi quickly gathered around his palms. Seeing Ningyu's actions, Song Fei raised his eyebrows in surprise. Because he discovered that the speed at which Ningyu condensed essence qi was not the slightest bit inferior to his. It had to be known that his cultivation was at the late Xiantian realm. How could the speed at which he gathered origin energy be inferior to a Hutian realm martial artist? It must be a mental cultivation method to condense origin qi. It should be a high-grade profound rank mental cultivation method, or even higher. At this moment, Song Fei seriously examined Ningyu. Ningyu was indeed worthy of being a 3-star exalted of Snow Domain Pavilion. He had cultivated a high-grade profound rank mental cultivation method at the Hutian realm. If your cultivation had reached the Xiantian realm, then perhaps 30% of my strength wouldn't be able to harm you. But now, 30% of my strength is more than enough to defeat you. In the next moment, Song Fei rose from the ground, clenched his right hand into a fist, and fiercely punched at Ningyu's chest. Buzz! Song Fei's speed was extremely fast. The howling wind from his fist forced the surrounding air to scatter. Netherworld Samsara Palm, First Palm, Absolute Dus. Facing the rapidly approaching Song Fei, Ningyu did not dare to be the slightest bit careless. He quickly gathered the essence-gathering hand's essence into his wrist. Then, he rapidly revolved the spirit art within his body, mobilizing all the essence-gathering hand's essence into his right palm. Shua. After the essence gathering on his palm reached a certain degree, Ningyu pushed out his palm. The violent essence-gathering hand brought with it a howling wind. An illusory palm print was faintly discernible. Middle Hutian Realm. Ningyu's cultivation has reached the Middle Hutian Realm. This morning, he was at the early Hutian Realm. Only a few hours have passed, and he has actually reached the Middle Hutian Realm. This is too incredible. Perhaps Ningyu's cultivation was at the peak of the early Hutian Realm this morning, and he just happened to break through to the Middle Hutian Realm today. Although Song Fei and Zhong Wenyong knew that Ningyu's cultivation had reached the Middle Hutian Realm, the people in Drunken Cloud Brothel did not know. They did not have the eyesight of Song Fei and Zhong Wenyong. Therefore, now that they felt the fluctuations of Ningyu's aura, they were somewhat shocked. Young master, is this Ningyu really only at the Middle Hutian Realm? The two men in the number 1 private room looked at the scene in the lobby through the window. The thin man said with some shock, even an ordinary late Hutian Realm martial artist would not be able to make such a palm strike, right? He is indeed at the Middle Hutian Realm. The young man who was called Young Master nodded and said, to be able to become a 3-stars consecrator of the Snow Pavilion, he naturally has some skills. But to block Song Fei's fist, it will be a little difficult. That's right. If he can block Song Fei's fist, doesn't it mean that his talent and strength are similar to Young Master's? The thin man said. Zhong Wenyong stood at the entrance of the 3rd floor, looking at Ningyu with great interest as if he was facing a formidable enemy. Jifeng, according to you, how long do you think Ningyu will be bedridden this time? 1 year. 2 years. Zhong Wenyong said with a smile. Zhong Wenyong, Ningyu's palm strike is very powerful. Maybe he can block Song Fei's fist with 30% of his strength. Jifeng was not as optimistic as Zhong Wenyong. Haha, Brother Ji worries too much. Zhong Wenyong smiled mysteriously and said, do you think Song Fei will only use 30% of his strength? Hey! Could it be that Song Fei will use his full strength? Jifeng looked at Song Fei with a thought. 50% of his strength. Jifeng was shocked by what he saw. He realized that Song Fei had secretly increased the strength of his fist to 50%. Fighting Ningyu with 50% of his strength, there was no need to say who would be the final winner. Sho. Song Fei's fist appeared in front of Ningyu in an instant, aiming for his chest. As the fist gradually approached Ningyu, Song Fei seemed to see a high-grade yuan crystal waving at him. The corner of his mouth curled up unnaturally. Bang! However, just as Song Fei's fist was about to come into contact with Ningyu's chest, an illusory palm print suddenly appeared in front of his fist. A muffled sound rang out. His fist and the illusory palm print collided head-on. Song Fei's expression changed because he realized that the strength of the illusory palm print was about the same as 50% of his strength. Damn it! Song Fei cursed in his heart. His face gradually darkened. For safety's sake, he broke the agreement and used 50% of his strength so that he could defeat Ningyu in one move. Who would have thought that his thunderbolt fist, which was 50% of his strength, could not even touch Ningyu's chest? If news of this were to spread, how could he establish himself in Tianqian City? Thinking of this, Song Fei gritted his teeth and unconsciously increased the strength of his fist. 60%. Chapter 35. What? They are evenly matched. This is impossible. How could Ning Yu block Song Fei's Rolling Thunder Fist? The Rolling Thunder Fist is a lower profound level martial skill. Yes, Song Fei has already achieved initial success in the Rolling Thunder Fist. It is impossible for Ning Yu to block it. Don't forget, Song Fei only used 30% of his strength. Plus, Ning Yu has advanced to the middle stage of the Hu Tian stage. It is not impossible for him to block one move. At this time, Ning Yu's face was solemn. He even had the urge to curse. After fighting with Song Fei, no one knew better than him how much strength Song Fei had used. Although he did not use his full strength, Ning Yu was sure that Song Fei had used more than 30% of his strength. Old fox. You don't keep your word. Cursing, Ning Yu clenched his teeth. He crazily gathered Yuan Qi and injected it into the illusory palm. 60% of my strength is not enough to repel you. If so. Song Fei's eyes were cold. He stamped his right foot on the ground, shattering the jade stone floor. I will use my full strength. In the next instant, primordial qi surged out of Song Fei's body and gathered on his fist. I did not expect Ning Yu to be so strong. He actually forced Song Fei to use his full strength. In the Sky No. 1 private room, the young man's expression finally changed. He stood up with a swoosh. The rushing thunder fist at the initial realm is extremely powerful. Young master, no matter what, Ning Yu is a 3-star guest of Snow Pavilion. We have a good relationship with Snow Pavilion. Do you want to? The thin man beside the young man said. No need. However, before the gaunt man could finish his sentence, he was interrupted by the young man. Song Fei won't kill him. At most, he'll be bedridden for a few months. There's no need for us to be peacemakers. At the entrance of the 3rd floor, Ji Feng's face was solemn. He could not help but say, Zhong Wenyong, Song Fei used his full strength. Will something happen? The corners of Zhong Wenyong's mouth curled up. What happened? Song Fei knows what he's doing. He won't kill Ning Yu. After thinking about it, Ji Feng still felt that something was wrong. He said, right now, Song Fei is in a fit of anger. I'm afraid he won't know when to stop. Ji Feng, he's just a 3-star consecrator of the Snow Pavilion. Is it really necessary to kill him? Shrugging, Zhong Wenyong said, if it wasn't for Lu Wei, I would have killed him myself. Pa. Inside the Supreme Pavilion, Elder Guan's face darkened. He slammed the table and shattered the jade cup. Elder Guan, what made you so angry? Xiao Yunlan was shocked. He had never seen Elder Guan so angry before. He asked carefully. How dare you? How dare you attack Ning Yu with your full strength? Old Guan stood up with a swoosh and an angry expression appeared on his face. Actually, when Song Fei appeared, Elder Guan's sharp soul power had already sensed him. However, he did not stop the fight between Ning Yu and Song Fei. In Elder Guan's opinion, even though Song Fei had achieved initial success in the Rolling Thunder Fists, it was still impossible to defeat Ning Yu with only 30% of his strength. Elder Guan had seen how powerful Ning Yu was. Not to mention 30%, even if Song Fei used 50% of his strength, he might not be able to defeat Ning Yu. Therefore, Elder Guan was not worried. He no longer used his soul power to observe the situation in the lobby. However, just now, when he accidentally released his soul power, he realized that Song Fei had used his full strength. Elder Guan. Seeing Elder Guan stand up, Xiao Yunlan hurriedly said, let me handle this. No need. I will go there myself. Waving his hand, Elder Guan walked toward the door. Boom. However, before Elder Guan and Xiao Yunlan could leave the Supreme Pavilion, an earth-shattering explosion came from the lobby. On the 1st floor of the Drunken Cloud Inn, Ning Yu's body fell backward and hit the wall hard. Fart. The hidden force that came from his chest made Ning Yu's expression change. He spat out a mouthful of blood. On the other hand, Song Fei took a few steps back, but he was fine. Sigh, he lost. I knew it. How could Ning Yu block one attack from Song Fei? That's right. This time, Ning Yu lost. I think he won't be so arrogant in the future. Ning Yu isn't bad either. Song Fei also took a few steps back. Sigh, Ning Yu, is there a need for you to do this? Earlier, I only used 10% of my strength. If I had used 30% of my strength, you would have been killed long ago. Song Fei sighed softly. Song Fei didn't use 30% of his strength. He only used 10% of his strength. No wonder he took a few steps back. So that's why. I thought Ningyu was so strong. It seems like the gap between him and Song Fei is like heaven and earth. In the past, Ningyu had seen shameless people. However, he had never seen someone as shameless as Song Fei. He used his full strength, but he said it in such a dignified manner. He didn't even blush when he lied. Ignoring Song Fei, Ningyu suppressed the hidden force in his body and walked to the 3rd floor of the Drunken Cloud Inn. Looking at Ningyu's actions, the crowd was dumbfounded. It can't be. Ningyu still wants to go to the 3rd floor. Does he think he hasn't embarrassed himself enough? It's nothing to lose to Song Fei. If he doesn't know how to endure, his achievements in the future will be limited. Ignoring the ridicule from the crowd, Ningyu dragged his heavy steps to the 3rd floor of the Drunken Cloud Inn. Song Fei didn't stop Ningyu's actions. Instead, he frowned, not knowing what Ningyu wanted to do. But very quickly, Song Fei's face changed. Ningyu came to the entrance of the 3rd floor. He bent down and picked up the 10 middle-grade crystals on the ground. Following that, Ningyu grinned at Song Fei and said, "Thank you, Pavilion Master Song. It would be impolite for me to refuse these 10 middle-grade crystals. Ningyu, you don't know what's good for you." Song Fei clenched his fists and gritted his teeth. "Pavilion Master Song, didn't you say it before? As long as I'm able to withstand a single move from you, these 10 mid-grade origin crystals are mine. Could it be that you're going to go back on your word?" Ningyu was still calm and collected, and he wasn't angered at all. "You." Song Fei pointed at Ningyu and said angrily, "I only used 10% of my strength earlier, not 30%. Since you don't know what's good for you, how about we compete again? Pavilion Master Song, there are so many people watching here. It's not like I asked you to use 10% of your strength. Are you going to go back on your words now?" Ningyu's face turned cold, and he finally showed some anger. He said coldly, "I don't need you to invite me to the first room, but don't tell me you don't intend to give me 10 mid-grade origin crystals. I've said it before, I only used 10% of my strength just now. If you want the mid-grade essence crystals, then take another move from me." That was 10 pieces of mid-grade essence crystals. It was naturally impossible for Song Fei to hand them over to Ningyu. Chapter 36. Pavilion Master Song, aren't you going a little overboard? However, not long after Pavilion Master Song finished his words, 2 young men walked out from the Sky No. 1 booth. One of the young men said indifferently, "If I'm not wrong, you didn't use 10% of your strength just now, but your full strength, 100% of your strength." Swoosh. The young man's words caused the entire Drunken Cloud Inn to boil. Everyone turned to look at Song Fei, wanting to see his attitude. "Young Master Wu, you were in the booth just now, so you might not know what happened outside." With a gloomy expression, Song Fei said, "I did use 10% of my strength against Ningyu, not 100%. "Oh, is that so?" Young Master Wu rolled his eyes and said, "How about this, I'll give you a chance. Use another 10% of your strength, and if you can defeat Ningyu, then I'll get back the 10 middle-grade origin crystals from Ningyu for you." "Are you serious?" Song Fei's eyes lit up. "Absolutely." Young Master Wu said indifferently. "Young Master Wu, right?" Looking at the young man, Ningyu's expression was somewhat displeased. "What right do you have to ask me for 10 middle-grade origin crystals? How dare you?" The skinny man beside young Master Wu said coldly. Waving his hand, young Master Wu said, "I was rude just now. What I meant was, as long as Song Fei can defeat you, I'll give you 10 middle-grade origin crystals." "Not interested." Keeping the 10 middle-grade origin crystals, Ningyu slowly walked towards the 1st floor of the Drunken Cloud Inn. "Wait." However, just as Ningyu took a few steps, Zhong Wenyong scolded, "Ningyu, as long as you can withstand another 10% of Song Fei's strength, I'm willing to give you another 10 middle-grade origin crystal." Ningyu stopped in his tracks after hearing Zhong Wenyong's words. "How is it, Ningyu? That's 10 yuan crystals, Enough for you to train for a year. Seeing Ningyu stop walking, Zhong Wenyong said with some satisfaction. 10 mid-grade origin crystals. Zhong Wenyong, are you trying to dismiss a beggar? Turning around, Ningyu looked at Zhong Wenyong and said, if you can block one move from Song Fei, I'll give you 10 mid-grade origin crystals. How about it? After saying that, Ningyu walked downstairs. Damn it. Cursing inwardly, Zhong Wenyong was extremely furious. 20 mid-grade origin crystals. Ningyu continued downstairs as if he hadn't heard anything. 50 mid-grade origin crystals. Zhong Wenyong gnashed his teeth and said. Ningyu did not stop. 1 high-grade essence crystal. Zhong Wen's courage was not light. Today, even if he had to use crystals, he wanted to let Ningyu and Song Fei exchange blows again. However, Ningyu continued forward. 10 upper-grade origin crystals. Zhong Wenyong roared, and the aura of his whole body was revealed, crazily suppressing Ningyu. Peak of the post-liminary realm. No wonder he's from the capital. His age is about the same as Ningyu's, right? He's actually at the peak of the post-liminary realm. Originally, I thought that Ningyu was an absolute genius. Now, compared to Zhong Wenyong, it's like heaven and earth. At this moment, Ningyu finally stopped in his tracks. He turned around and looked at Zhong Wenyong, completely unafraid of the aura of the peak of the post-liminary realm. Stretching out a finger, Ningyu said, 100 high-grade origin crystals. As long as you can take out 100 high-grade origin crystals, I'm willing to exchange blows with Song Fei again. Fine. 100 it is. I only hope that you'll be alive to take it. Zhong Wenyong sneered and waved his sleeve. Instantly, a small storage pouch appeared in his hand and said, there are 100 high-grade origin crystals in here. As long as you can block one blow from Song Fei, they are all yours. Ningyu is overestimating himself. He wants to block one blow from Song Fei? Impossible. Definitely impossible. If I'm not wrong, Ningyu is already injured. No matter what happens today, Ningyu is doomed. He has completely offended Zhong Wenyong. Elder Guan, do you think I should? Xiao Yunlan said at the entrance of the Supreme Pavilion. No need. Let's wait and see. Song Fei's one attack with 10% of his strength, Ningyu should be able to block it. Waving his hand, Elder Guan signaled Xiao Yunlan not to make a move. Originally, Elder Guan came out in anger. But when he arrived at the entrance, he realized that Song Fei's attack with all his strength did not harm Ningyu. Thus, he relaxed. 100% of his strength was not enough to defeat Ningyu. It was not hard to imagine that one attack with 10% of his strength would not be able to harm Ningyu. Plus, Elder Guan knew that Ningyu still had a trump card that he had yet to use. Soul suppression. Once Ningyu uses soul suppression, Song Fei will not have a good time. Take out 100 high-grade origin crystals. I want to confirm. Taking a deep breath, Ningyu said. For 100 high-grade origin crystals, Ningyu was willing to take the risk. With 100 high-grade origin crystals, he could buy a lot of medicinal ingredients and concoct medicinal pellets to help him increase his cultivation. Hualala. Zhong Wenyong poured out the storage pouch. Immediately, with a clattering sound, 100 high-grade origin crystals appeared on the 3rd floor of the Drunken Cloud Inn. Wow! 100 high-grade origin crystals. If I had one, I would have a high chance of breaking through to the advanced stage of the postnatal realm within a year. In your dreams. How many demonic beasts do you have to kill to exchange for one high-grade origin crystal? Zhong Wenyong is so daring. He is not afraid of being robbed. Robbed? Who dares to offend Zhong Wenyong? At least in the big Tianqian city, no one dares to offend him. How can I believe you? If I can block one attack from Song Fei, are you really willing to give me these high-grade origin crystals? Frowning, this was what Ningyu was worried about. After all, Zhong Wenyong came from a big family in the capital and he was alone. In his current state, even if Zhong Wenyong did not give him the origin crystals, he could not do anything. Ningyu, you don't have to worry about this. Just then, young Master Wu spoke, I will keep these 100 high-grade origin crystals for now. As long as you can block one attack from Pavilion Leader Song, I guarantee on my honor that they will be yours. Ningyu, quickly thank my young master. Beside young Master Wu, the thin man said, my young master has a good relationship with Snow Pavilion. Since he said he would help you, he will definitely help you. Wu Yong, are you really going to interfere? Zhong Wenyong said coldly. Zhong Wenyong, why do you have to do this? There must be a fair person in a battle. Wu Yong smiled. Fine, I want to see what ability Ningyu has to take away these high-grade origin crystals. Zhong Wenyong clenched his fist and said in a deep voice. Since young Master Wu is willing to help, Ningyu will thank you in advance. Cupping his hands at Wu Yong, Ningyu turned to Song Fei and said, one attack with 10% of my strength. What do you think, Pavilion Leader Song? Humph. You are looking for your own death. Don't blame me. With a cold snort, Song Fei made a please gesture and said, I held back just now, but I will not hold back now. Song Fei noticed that Ningyu's chest was heaving up and down and his breathing was a little chaotic. He concluded that Ningyu was seriously injured. Chapter 37. You don't need to hold back at all. You can't do anything to me with just 10% of your strength. Ningyu appeared in front of Song Fei and said calmly. Arrogant. With a furious roar, Song Fei dashed out and dashed toward Ningyu at a shocking speed. Flowing cloud steps. It's the flowing cloud steps. A sharp-eyed warrior exclaimed. Flowing cloud steps? Could it be a middle-grade mystic-level movement skill? That's right. It's a middle-grade mystic-level movement skill. The warrior who spoke earlier said, Song Fei's speed is much faster than Ningyu. Now that he's using the flowing cloud steps, Ningyu won't be able to catch up. Wu Yong, how confident do you think Ningyu will be able to block Song Fei's attack? Zhong Wenyong asked with a smile. Not bad, not bad. Looks like Song Fei doesn't want to lose. He's even using a middle-grade mystic-level movement skill. Wu Yong nodded and said, although he's using the flowing cloud steps, I think Ningyu has a 50% chance of blocking Song Fei's attack. Oh, you're so optimistic about Ningyu. Raising his eyebrows, Zhong Wenyong said, his speed is inferior to Song Fei's, and Ningyu doesn't even know when Song Fei will make his move. In a situation where he is completely unprepared, putting aside the fact that Song Fei only used 10% of his strength, even if Song Fei used half of his strength, Ningyu would still be unable to withstand it. Wu Yong frowned slightly when he heard Zhong Wenyong's words. No wonder Zhong Wenyong dared to bet 100 high-grade yuan crystals. It turned out that he had a card up his sleeve. In the lobby, Ningyu slowly closed his eyes and secretly used his soul strength. He knew that he was no match for Song Fei in terms of speed and he couldn't block Song Fei's attack because he didn't know when Song Fei would attack. But he had a way, and that was soul strength. Since his soul power had recovered to the 3rd grade, Ningyu was able to determine when Song Fei would make his move. Look. Ningyu was dumbfounded. He actually closed his eyes. He's like a dead pig that's not afraid of boiling water. Song Fei's speed is very fast. Ningyu knows that he can't stop him this time, so he closed his eyes and admitted defeat. Ningyu, do you think that I won't attack you if you close your eyes? You're too naive. The corners of Song Fei's mouth curled up, and he instantly appeared behind Ningyu. He punched out, bringing with him waves of killing intent, aiming for Ningyu's shoulder. Song Fei wasn't that stupid. If he said he would use 10% of his strength, he would use 10% of his strength. He secretly increased his strength and displayed 20% of his strength. Song Fei could not help but laugh as if he had seen Ningyu's miserable state when he was chopped down. Young master, Song Fei. The thin man beside Wu Yong said. I'm fine. Wu Yong could naturally see that Song Fei did not use 10% of his strength. However, now wasn't the time to offend Zhong Wenyong. 20% of his strength, so be it. It made no difference anyway. In his opinion, Ningyu's defeat was inevitable. Swoosh. However, in the hall, just as Song Fei's fist was about to hit Ningyu's shoulder, Ningyu turned around with a swoosh. What? Song Fei did not expect Ningyu to react so quickly. He was momentarily stunned. It's not good to be distracted now. With a faint smile, Ningyu threw out a punch first, and it collided with Song Fei's fist. Damn it! Song Fei cursed under his breath. He immediately reacted and wanted to increase his strength, but he realized that Ningyu's palm and his fist separated immediately. At the same time, Ningyu's body retreated. Ningyu's action made Song Fei dumbfounded, and he stood rooted to the ground. What was going on? Before he exerted his strength, Ningyu actually retreated. However, what Ningyu said next made him want to vomit blood. Pavilion Master Song, 10% of your strength is still too weak. It can't do anything to me, Ningyu said calmly as he steadied himself. What? Did Song Fei use his full strength just now? How could Ningyu block his move so easily? More or less. Looking at Ningyu's appearance, he still has some strength left. Look, it's Zhong Wenyong. In an instant, everyone's gaze turned to the third floor of the Drunken Cloud Inn. Zhong Wenyong's face was ashen, and he clenched his fists tightly. He stared at Song Fei with an urge to kill. If he did not know that Song Fei had used 10% of his strength, he would have suspected that Song Fei and Ningyu were putting on an act to cheat him of his 100 pieces of origin crystal. Zhong Wenyong, many thanks. Arriving at the third floor, Ningyu was about to put away the 100 pieces of origin crystals. However, Zhong Wenyong said coldly, "Wait. You can't take these origin crystals away." Hearing Zhong Wenyong's words, Ningyu's face darkened. Although he blocked Song Fei's move by trickery, Ningyu's strength had decreased by half right now. It was basically impossible for him to be Zhong Wenyong's match. Furthermore, there was Ji Feng who was equally powerful by the side. Zhong Wenyong, there are wins and losses in a bet. You can't be a sore loser, right? Since he said he would help Ningyu, Wu Yong naturally would not sit idly by. Humph. Wu Yong, you said I can't afford to lose. With a cold snort, Zhong Wenyong said furiously, forget about 100 pieces of origin crystals, even if it's 1,000, Zhong Wenyong, won't even blink an eye. These 100 pieces of high-grade essence crystals, just take it as me giving him arms. With that, Zhong Wenyong turned around and walked towards the Sky Room 2. Zhong Wenyong, wait for me. Ji Feng and Liu Shan followed closely behind him and entered the Sky Room 2. After Zhong Wenyong left, Wu Yong took out a small storage bag. With a wave of his hand, the 100 pieces of origin crystals were all put into the storage bag. Many thanks. I'll return the storage bag to you when I get home. Receiving the storage bag, Ningyu said. Ha ha ha, it's just a storage bag. What's the harm in giving it to Brother Ning? Laughing loudly, Wu Yong said, if Brother Ning has nothing else, would you like to have a chat in the room? Since Brother Wu invited me, how could I dare to decline? Ningyu said. After all, Wu Yong had helped him. He remembered this favor and would definitely return it in the future if there was a chance. Moreover, after probing the storage bag with his soul force, he found that there was a cubic meter of space inside. A storage bag with a cubic meter of space had a market price of around 10 pieces of origin crystals. For Wu Yong to give it to him so generously, it could be seen that this person was not simple. Alright, let's go. Being able to meet Brother Ning today, this trip was not in vain. Wu Yong turned around and made an inviting gesture. Damn it. Seeing Ningyu and Wu Yong walking towards the Sky Room 1, Song Fei's face was extremely gloomy and livid. How did he know that I would attack from behind? Until now, Song Fei still did not understand how Ningyu could determine the direction of his attack. Could it be a fluke? After thinking about it, Song Fei felt that it was too unrealistic. If it was a fluke, then Ningyu's luck was too good. Chapter 38. Damn it. Damn it. Song Fei made me lose 100 high-grade essence crystals for nothing. In the second Sky Room, Zhong Wenyong's face was ashen as he said angrily, this is unforgivable. Zhong Wenyong, you can't blame Song Fei for this. Ji Feng waved his jade fan and said, Ningyu is indeed strong. If I were to fight him, I would not be able to win without using 80% of my strength. Oh! Zhong Wenyong raised his eyebrows and said, you also think that Trash Ningyu is strong? Hehe, I have to say that in terms of strength, he is qualified to be on equal footing with us. Ji Feng laughed. Me. Be on equal footing with us. He doesn't deserve it. Zhong Wenyong snorted and said, you and I both have our trump cards. Once we use them, even 10 Ningyu won't be enough to kill us. Zhong Wenyong and Ji Feng came from big families in the capital. This time, they brought a lot of magical items and pills with them to the Elixir Dragon Valley. Other than magical items and pills, each of them had a way to protect themselves. Even if they encountered a peak Xiantian realm martial artist, they would be able to defend themselves. Liu Shan, you are from Tianqian City. Introduce Ningyu to me. Zhong Wenyong said. Young master, 3 days ago, Ningyu's cultivation was only 5th layer body tempering realm. But 3 days later, his cultivation rose like a rocket, advancing to early stage Hutian realm. No, it should be mid-stage Hutian realm, Liu Shan said hurriedly. 3 days to advance from 5th layer body tempering realm to mid-stage Hutian realm. Liu Shan, you will be punished for lying. Ji Feng was shocked. If what Liu Shan said was true, then Ningyu was really a genius. Even in the capital, other than the number 1 genius, Xia Linxian, no one could advance so quickly. Liu Shan, is what you said true? Zhong Wenyong said coldly, his aura pressing down on Liu Shan. With a plop, Liu Shan knelt on the ground and said, young master, what I've said is the truth. 3 days ago, Ningyu's cultivation was indeed at the 5th layer of body tempering realm. Furthermore, he even set up a death match with the young master of the Lin clan, Lin Feng. Zhong Wenyong, I think there's something fishy about this. Frowning slightly, Ji Feng said, 3 days ago, Ningyu must have concealed his cultivation. It's impossible for him to be at the 5th layer of the body tempering realm. It's extremely likely that he's at the early stage of the Hutian realm. Zhong Wenyong nodded and said, that's true. Ningyu wouldn't have dared to challenge Lin Feng to a life-and-death duel if he hadn't been at the early stage of the Hutian realm. After all, Lin Feng was at the middle stage of the Hutian realm at that time. At the side, Liu Shan secretly heaved a sigh of relief. Rolling his eyes, Liu Shan said, young master, in profound Sky City, Ningyu's strongest point is not his cultivation, but his attainments in alchemy. Seeing that Zhong Wenyong did not speak, Liu Shan continued, 3 days ago, Ningyu successfully refined a first-grade qi gathering pill. It's just a first-grade qi gathering pill, it's nothing much. Zhong Wenyong waved his hand and said, young master, I inspected the pill that he refined at that time. It's a supreme-grade pill. Liu Shan continued. What? This time, Zhong Wenyong was not as calm. He stood up in a flash and said, are you sure it's a supreme-grade qi gathering pill? Actually, it was no wonder that Zhong Wenyong was shocked. Even though the qi gathering pill was a first-grade qi gathering pill, to be able to refine a supreme-grade qi gathering pill, it was enough to show that one's attainments in alchemy were profound. Zhong Wenyong himself was a second-grade intermediate alchemist. With his current ability, he would need to refine 10 batches of qi gathering pills before he could refine a supreme-grade qi gathering pill. What level of alchemist is Ningyu at now? Zhong Wenyong asked in a low voice. He should still be a first-grade alchemist. Liu Shan said. Not bad, not bad. At such a young age, not only can he fight against Song Fei, who is in the advanced phase of the Xiantian stage, his attainments in alchemy are also profound. The corners of Zhong Wenyong's mouth curled up slightly. Zhong Wenyong, don't tell me you want to spar with him? Ji Feng knew Zhong Wenyong's personality. He would never allow someone of the same generation to surpass him in both alchemy and martial art. In the capital, among the younger generation who had yet to enter Danwu College, the only one who surpassed Zhong Wenyong in alchemy was Xiao Yunlan of the Drunken Cloud Villa, and there were not many who surpassed him in terms of martial arts. Hehe, of course I want to spar with him. Zhong Wenyong smiled and said, Ningyu is indeed not simple. To be able to see through Liu Shan's hidden illness, he might just be able to be my opponent. At the same time, in the first sky booth. Brother Ning, I did not expect you to be so powerful. I am impressed. Wu Yong said. Brother Wu, you must be joking. If I am not wrong, your cultivation should have broken through the limits of the Hutian stage. Ningyu glanced at Wu Yong and said casually. Hearing this, Wu Yong was extremely shocked. 3 days ago, He had just taken an innate elixir to break through to the early stage of the innate realm. Moreover, he had hidden it with the help of the powerhouses in his family. According to the powerhouses in his family, unless one's cultivation had reached the true martial realm, no one would be able to see through his real cultivation. How did Ningyu find out? Although he was shocked, Wu Yong did not show it. Instead, he said, "Brother Ning, I will not beat around the bush. This time, I only have one purpose in coming to Qianqian City, and that is to enter the Pill Dragon Valley. The movement in the Pill Dragon Valley this time should attract many powerhouses." Ningyu knew a little about the Pill Dragon Valley, but he did not know much. Brother Ning, according to the secret information, the Pill Dragon Valley is the abode of a 5th-grade alchemist. Wu Yong laughed. Wu Yong continued, "The Pill Dragon Valley is divided into the inner valley and the outer valley. There are no restrictions on entering the outer valley. As for the inner valley, only martial artists below the age of 22 are allowed to enter. Of course, it is not easy to enter the inner valley through the outer valley." Wu Yong said solemnly, "So, I want to form an alliance with Brother Ning. With our strength, we can definitely enter the Pill Dragon Valley's inner valley together. Wu Yong, are you looking for an ally now? Why don't you consider me?" At this moment, a voice sounded from the door of the Sky Series 1 booth. Zhong Wenyong pushed the door open and walked in. Behind him, Ji Feng and Liu Shan followed closely. "Wu Yong, in my opinion, the two of us should form an alliance. It will be enough to sweep the Pill Dragon Valley and the outer valley," Zhong Wenyong said proudly. Then, Zhong Wenyong looked at Ningyu and said, "As for him, he will only be a burden. There is no need to bring him along." "Brother Wu, what's wrong today? Why are there so many flies?" Ningyu looked around and asked. "Damn it," Zhong Wenyong said coldly, "how dare you call me a fly?" Ningyu shrugged and did not comment. "Zhong Wenyong, you are not welcome here. Please leave." Wu Yong knew that Ningyu was injured and was a guest he had invited. Naturally, he would not allow a conflict to break out between him and Zhong Wenyong. "Wu Yong, I am not here to look for you. I am here to look for Ningyu." Pointing at Ningyu, Zhong Wenyong said, "I heard that Liu Shan has an unmentionable illness. You also noticed it." Chapter 39. Zhong Wenyong, I don't think I have anything to do with Liu Shan. Ningyu said lightly, "Besides, I already told Liu Shan to come find me in 3 days. Ningyu, aren't you afraid of biting your tongue?" Zhong Wenyong laughed. "Can you really cure Liu Shan's hidden illness? Are you kidding me? A mere 1st-grade alchemist wants to get rid of the soul-devouring pill's residual power? Dream on." "So, the soul-devouring pill's residual power in Liu Shan's body was expelled by you?" Ningyu said. "Of course." Zhong Wenyong raised his head proudly. "If I didn't discover it in time, Liu Shan would have died long ago. How could he live until now?" "Thank you, young master." Liu Shan hurriedly thanked. Waving his hand, Zhong Wenyong said to Ningyu, "Let's put Liu Shan's matter aside for now. I heard that you are very accomplished in alchemy. Why don't we have a competition?" "Zhong Wenyong, are you sure you want to compete with me?" Ningyu asked. In fact, Ningyu had long discovered that Zhong Wenyong's soul force was very strong, reaching the 2nd grade. If he guessed correctly, Zhong Wenyong should be a 2nd-grade alchemist. Even Zhong Wenyong's rank was slightly higher than Snow Pavilion's Lu Wei. "Of course. Let's compete to see who can refine a 2nd-grade medicinal pill, the cleansing marrow pill." Raising his eyebrows, Zhong Wenyong said, "As for the bet, let's make it 100 upper-grade essence crystals." Zhong Wenyong always wanted to take back the upper-grade essence crystals that he lost to Ningyu. He knew that with Wu Yong around, he couldn't use force, so he could only think of a way in alchemy. Observing Ningyu again, Zhong Wenyong had absolute confidence in winning, because he discovered that Ningyu's soul force was only at the peak of 1st grade. It hadn't reached the 2nd grade. How could he refine a 2nd-grade medicinal pill if his soul force hadn't reached the 2nd grade? "Ningyu, you must not agree." Beside him, Wu Yong hurriedly persuaded, Zhong Wenyong is a middle grade 2 alchemist, and the assessment for him to advance to a grade 2 alchemist is to refine a baptizing marrow pill. At that time, He refined a high-grade baptizing marrow pill. Humph. Ningyu, it's not too late to regret. Zhong Wenyong coldly snorted as he glared at Wu Yong. We can compete in alchemy later. As for now, let's discuss the residual medicinal power of the soul-devouring pill in Liu Shan's body. Ningyu smiled at Wu Yong, indicating that he knew his limits. Ningyu, have you lost your mind? The residual soul-devouring pill medicinal strength in my body has already been thoroughly expelled out of my body by young master. What are you still discussing for? Liu Shan said in surprise. Ningyu didn't say anything. He just stared at Zhong Wenyong. Did he discover something? Being stared at by Ningyu, Zhong Wenyong felt a little guilty. But after thinking about it, he felt that it was somewhat impossible. After all, the method he used was extremely covert. Only someone with a strong soul force would be able to discover the situation in Liu Shan's body. He didn't believe that Ningyu's soul force was so strong. In his opinion, Ningyu was bluffing. Liu Shan, press your lower abdomen with your hand, then gather all the yuan qi in your body into your dantian. Ningyu said without batting an eyelid. Liu Shan didn't do as he was told. Instead, he looked at Zhong Wenyong. After Zhong Wenyong nodded his head, Liu Shan then followed Ningyu's method. Puchi. However, just as the yuan qi gathered into his dantian, Liu Shan spat out a mouthful of blood. His face was somewhat hideous. Ningyu, what did you do to me? Feeling the pain from his heart, Liu Shan gritted his teeth. Nothing much. I just stimulated the residual soul-devouring pill medicinal strength in your heart. Ningyu said. What? There's still residual soul-devouring pill medicinal strength in my body. Liu Shan was greatly shocked. He hurriedly looked at Zhong Wenyong and exclaimed, Young master, is what Ningyu said true? At this moment, Zhong Wenyong's face was ashen. He didn't directly answer Liu Shan's question. Instead, he said to Ningyu, How did you know? If you don't want people to know, don't do it. Ningyu said. Ningyu knew that with the strength of Zhong Wenyong's soul force, it was impossible to help Liu Shan expel the residual soul-devouring pill medicinal strength in his body. In the past, if he wanted to help Liu Shan expel the residual soul-devouring pill medicinal strength in his body, he only needed to refine a grade 2 medicinal pill, cold fragrance pill. As for now, it was somewhat difficult. Taking a deep breath, Zhong Wenyong said, In that case, you have the confidence to cure Liu Shan. Whether I have the confidence or not doesn't seem to have anything to do with you, right? Ningyu said indifferently. You only know how to boast. Zhong Wenyong said coldly, As long as you can cure Liu Shan, I'll let you off. I promise not to find trouble with you in the future. Who do you think you are? You still want to find trouble with me? Ningyu's face was gloomy and he was a little angry. Good, good, good. Wu Yong, you saw it. He's provoking me. Clapping his hands, Zhong Wenyong said to Wu Yong, This is a personal grudge between us. I hope you won't interfere. Ningyu, why don't we make another bet? As he spoke, Zhong Wenyong shook his wrist and a storage bag appeared in his hand. Waving the storage pouch, Zhong Wenyong said, There are 300 pieces of high-grade essence crystals inside. As long as you can cure Liu Shan, these essence crystals are yours. Moreover, I'll give you this storage pouch for free. If you can't cure Liu Shan, I don't want the high-grade origin crystals you just won. You just have to kneel down and kowtow to me 3 times. Zhong Wenyong, our bet doesn't seem to be fair. 300 high-grade origin crystals and a storage bag, it would be a waste not to take it. However, Ningyu still wanted to extort more. He said, If I lose, I have to kneel down and kowtow to you 3 times. If you lose, you only have to pay 300 high-grade origin crystals. What a joke. Do you think that 3 kowtows is worth more than 300 high-grade origin crystals? Zhong Wenyong laughed. Then let's not bet. Shrugging, Ningyu said. Then how do you want to bet? From Zhong Wenyong's point of view, unless Ningyu was a third-grade alchemist, it was impossible for him to cure Liu Shan. A third-grade alchemist under the age of 20? Was that possible? Therefore, Zhong Wenyong believed that he would definitely win this bet. It's very simple. I want the jade bangle on your wrist. Ningyu pointed at Zhong Wenyong's wrist and said, "All right. As long as you can cure Liu Shan, this jade bangle is yours." Clenching his teeth, Zhong Wenyong said, "No." Ji Feng hurriedly said, "Zhong Wenyong, that jade bangle of yours is..." Before Ji Feng could finish his words, Zhong Wenyong said, "It's fine. It's impossible for Ningyu to cure Liu Shan. Ningyu, I'll give you 2 hours. After 2 hours, if you can't cure Liu Shan, then you have to kneel down and kowtow to me 3 times at the city gates of Qianxian City," Zhong Wenyong said in a deep voice. "Deal." Snapping his fingers, Ningyu said, "I'll have to trouble you to pass the storage bag and jade bangle to Brother Wu for safekeeping. I don't really trust your character." Swoosh. With a flick of his wrist, Zhong Wenyong threw the storage bag and jade bangle to Wu Yong. Chapter 40. Sit down, relax your mind, and don't resist. Ignoring Zhong Wenyong, Ningyu said to Liu Shan, "Right now, the medicinal effects of the soul-devouring pill in your body have all gathered at your heart. If you don't treat it in time, you will only have 24 hours to live. Young Master Ning, please save me." Through the conversation between Ningyu and Zhong Wenyong, Liu Shan knew that he was indeed in great danger. If not for Ningyu's appearance, he might even be grateful to Zhong Wenyong. At that time, he might not even know how he died. Hence, he hated Zhong Wenyong very much. However, he did not dare to show it. After all, Zhong Wenyong was not someone he could afford to offend. He did not have Ningyu's boldness and did not dare to offend Zhong Wenyong. "You call me young Master Ning so sweetly. I think you've forgotten your identity," Zhong Wenyong snorted coldly. "Young Master Zhong, I..." Liu Shan hurriedly said. However, just as Liu Shan opened his mouth, Ningyu's berating voice sounded. He quickly shut his mouth and said, "Don't speak." With his palm on Liu Shan's back, Ningyu secretly released his soul force and quietly entered Liu Shan's body. Hiss. Seeing the condition of Liu Shan's heart, even though Ningyu had lived 2 lives, he could not help but suck in a breath of cold air. There was a weak energy shield in front of Liu Shan's heart resisting the soul-devouring pill's effects. Otherwise, even if a sage appeared, he might not be able to cure him. Ningyu's soul force slowly approached Liu Shan's heart. Circulating the spirit transformation art, he began to expel the soul-devouring pill's effects bit by bit. Perhaps it felt the invasion of Ningyu's soul force. The soul-devouring pill's effects suddenly gave up on nibbling away at the energy shield and turned to attack Ningyu's soul force. Ah! The soul-devouring pill's effects changed its target. Liu Shan only felt a sharp pain coming from his heart and could not help but scream. "Shut up if you don't want to die," Ningyu berated. Even though he was in extreme pain and even had a hideous and warped expression, for the sake of survival, Liu Shan still gritted his teeth tightly and tried his best to not make the slightest sound. "Young Master, can Ningyu really cure Liu Shan?" The skinny man beside Wu Yong asked with a frown. "It's hard to say. The medicinal effects of the soul-devouring pill are very strong. I don't know what's going on inside Liu Shan, so I'm not sure," said Wu Yong. "If Ningyu can cure Liu Shan, I'll write my name backward." Zhong Wenyong laughed sinisterly. Wu Yong did not know the condition of Liu Shan's body, but he was very clear about it. This was because the Yuan Qi shield in front of Liu Shan's heart was left behind by him. Hearing Liu Shan scream, Zhong Wenyong concluded that the Yuan Qi barrier he had left behind must have been broken. Otherwise, Liu Shan would not have cried out like a pig being slaughtered. If the Yuan Qi barrier breaks, Liu Shan will die a horrible death in at most 10 minutes. Zhong Wenyong could not help but smile when he thought of this. Fart. Suddenly, Ningyu's expression changed, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. His body was on the verge of collapse, and even his hands that were placed on Liu Shan's back were swaying. "Ha ha ha, Ningyu, admit defeat if you can't do it. Otherwise, the medicinal effects of the soul-devouring pill will be transferred to you." "That won't be good." Zhong Wenyong added insult to injury. "Zhong Wenyong, can you shut up?" Wu Yong's expression was gloomy as he said coldly, "If you disturb Ningyu again, I don't mind sparring with you." "You." Zhong Wenyong was a little angry, but he remembered that he had not advanced to the Khanate realm. So, he took a deep breath and said, I won't lower myself to your level. When Ningyu dies, let's see how you can still be so arrogant. Ningyu, this is all I can help you with, Wu Yong muttered as he looked at the pale Ningyu. At Liu Shan's heart, Ningyu's soul power was slowly expelling the medicinal effects of the soul-devouring pill. Although the speed was a little slow, the medicinal effects of the soul-devouring pill were slowly being expelled from Liu Shan's body. However, the consumption of soul power was a little large, so Ningyu's face was getting paler and paler. In the blink of an eye, an hour had passed, and Ningyu's face was extremely pale. As for Liu Shan, his breathing was weak, and he even looked like he was about to stop breathing. Wu Yong, in my opinion, you should return my jade bracelet and storage bag to me. Zhong Wenyong could not help but say again, if this continues, it won't be long before Ningyu dies. It hasn't been 2 hours yet. The outcome of the battle is still unknown. For some reason, Wu Yong was very confident in Ningyu. Although Ningyu did not look good, Wu Yong still believed that Ningyu would win and cure Liu Shan. Fart. At this moment, Liu Shan suddenly spat out a mouthful of black blood. His hideous expression finally eased a little. The medicinal effects of the soul-devouring pill, Ji Feng exclaimed. What? Is it the medicinal effects of the soul-devouring pill? Zhong Wenyong's expression changed drastically as he hurriedly looked at Liu Shan. What he saw shocked Zhong Wenyong quite a bit. Other than spitting out a mouthful of black blood, Liu Shan's clothes were also dyed black, and he looked a little ugly. The medicinal effects of the soul-devouring pill in Liu Shan's body. Zhong Wenyong was a little dumbfounded. His mouth was slightly agape, and his face was filled with confusion. It was actually forced to the surface of the skin and seeped out. Get out. Ningyu did not notice Zhong Wenyong's dumbfounded expression. Instead, he gritted his teeth and instantly released his soul power, forcing all the medicinal effects of the soul-devouring pill out of Liu Shan's body. Fart. 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 After spitting out 3 mouthfuls of black blood, Liu Shan's expression gradually returned to normal. Although he still looked very weak, compared to earlier, the difference was like heaven and earth. Phew. Standing up, Ningyu let out a long breath and said, the medicinal effects of the soul-devouring pill in Liu Shan's body have been completely expelled. He's fine now. Although he was still very weak, Liu Shan still bowed to Ningyu and said solemnly, Thank you, young Master Ning, for saving my life. There's no need for that. I only saved you to make a bet with Zhong Wenyong, Ningyu said after taking the storage bag and jade bangle from Wu Yong. Ningyu, you actually healed Liu Shan. After being dumbfounded for a full 3 minutes, Zhong Wenyong finally came back to his senses. His face was filled with disbelief. He never expected that he would lose a sure-win situation. How could Ningyu cure Liu Shan? He released his soul power and carefully checked the condition of Liu Shan's body, hoping to find a trace of the medicinal effects of the soul-devouring pill. But very soon, he was disappointed because the medicinal effects of the soul-devouring pill in Liu Shan's body had indeed been expelled completely. Not even a strand of hair was left. Thank you. 300 high-grade essence crystals, a storage bag and a jade bangle. Ningyu was in a very good mood. It could be said that he was extremely happy. Zhong Wenyong was really his lucky star. Zhong Wenyong gave him 100 high-grade essence crystals first and still felt that it was not enough. Zhong Wenyong wanted to give him another 300 high-grade essence crystals, a storage bag and a jade bangle. Ningyu definitely had to thank such a good person. Chapter 41. Fart. Zhong Wenyong couldn't hold it in any longer. He spat out a mouthful of blood, his face contorted. Today was the worst day of his life. First, he lost to Ningyu 100 upper-grade yuan crystals. Then, he lost 300 yuan crystals, a storage pouch, and a jade bangle. He could give up on the yuan crystals and the storage pouch, but he had to get the jade bangle back. Ningyu, since you like gambling so much, let's have another round. Zhong Wenyong said in a low voice. You still have yuan crystals and a storage pouch? Ningyu asked. I'm not going to bet those things with you. Let's bet our lives. Zhong Wenyong gritted his teeth. A week later, we'll fight to the death outside Dan Dragon Valley. Do you dare? Shaking his head, Ningyu said, My life is more precious than yours. I'll lose a lot if I bet with you. So, I'm not betting. You. Pointing at Ningyu, Zhong Wenyong gritted his teeth. If not for Wu Yong, he would have killed Ningyu long ago. Ningyu wouldn't have been able to act so arrogantly here. If today's incident got out, how could he, Zhong Wenyong, survive in the capital? Moreover, he was about to enter Danwu College. If this incident got out, he would become the laughingstock of many students in Danwu College. Therefore, he had to get back at him. Ningyu, it's fine if you don't want to bet. But that jade bangle was given to me by my father. How about I redeem it with 1,000 upper-grade yuan crystals? Zhong Wenyong said, suppressing his anger. No need. I like this jade bangle very much. Moreover, I have 400 upper-grade yuan crystals now. It's enough for me to cultivate for a long time. Ningyu said. After that, Ningyu cupped his hands at Wu Yong and said, Brother Wu, I have something to do today. I'll take my leave for now. I'll visit another day when I have time. Seeing that Ningyu was about to leave, Zhong Wenyong panicked. The jade bangle couldn't be lost. Otherwise, his father would kill him. Ningyu, a top-grade profound rank magic treasure, making up his mind, Zhong Wenyong said, a week later, we will fight at the outskirts of Pill Dragon Valley. I'll take out a top-grade mystic rank magic weapon as the wager. As for you, you don't need anything else. Just the jade bracelet will do. Ningyu rolled his eyes and said, a top-grade mystic artifact. Not bad. I guess I'll just make do. Zhong Wenyong's eyes lit up as he hurriedly asked, does that mean that you agree to it? In Zhong Wenyong's opinion, as long as Ningyu dared to agree to fight with him, he would definitely make Ningyu suffer the consequences. Zhong Wenyong was 100% sure that he could kill a mere Hutian middle-stage warrior. Since you insist on giving me a top-grade profound rank magic treasure, if I don't accept it, then I'd be letting you down. Ningyu spoke seriously as if the top-grade profound rank magic treasure was already his. All right. As expected, he had courage. 1 week later, at the outskirts of Pill Dragon Valley. See you there. Without leaving behind any harsh words, Zhong Wenyong and Ji Feng left the first sky booth together. Sigh, Ningyu, you're too impulsive this time. In the room, Wu Yong sighed and said, Zhong Wenyong's cultivation level is at the peak of the Hutian stage. He's very strong. Moreover, Zhong Wenyong is an alchemist. His soul power is very strong. It's said that he has cultivated a type of soul attack spell. He has already achieved initial success. Soul attack spell? Frowning slightly, Ningyu was a little surprised. Soul attack spell was not only precious, but also extremely difficult to cultivate. Zhong Wenyong could cultivate a soul attack spell to initial success. No matter what grade the spell was, it was something to be proud of. Even without using a soul attack spell, Zhong Wenyong's strength is not to be underestimated. If I hadn't advanced to the early stage of the Xiantian stage, I wouldn't dare to say that I could suppress Zhong Wenyong. Once Zhong Wenyong advances to the early stage of the Xiantian stage, our strength will be on par. Zhong Wenyong wants to use a soul attack spell to get into the top 30 in the Danwu College's assessment. Since he wants to fight with you, he will definitely use it when the time comes. Looking at Ningyu, Wu Yong tried to persuade him, when the time comes, you and I will fight together. As long as the powerful warriors of the Zhong family don't interfere, I can protect you. Taking a deep breath, Ningyu said to Wu Yong in a serious tone, Brother Wu, thank you for your kindness. Since I have agreed to fight with Zhong Wenyong, I will definitely fight with him. Otherwise, even if I get into the Danwu College, I will always be threatened by him. That's right. I can see that you are not weak. Anyway, there is still a week left. You can use this time to cultivate. Nodding, Wu Yong said, if Zhong Wenyong hasn't reached the Xiantian stage in a week, you still have a chance of winning. Actually, Wu Yong was very confident in Ningyu. Ningyu had blocked Song Fei's all-out attack, and he still looked like nothing had happened. From this, one could tell that Ningyu was very strong. Now that he had obtained 400 high-rank yuan crystals, it was very likely that his cultivation would improve again. If Zhong Wenyong hadn't reached the Xiantian stage in a week, Ningyu had a 50% chance of winning. Brother Wu, I will go back first. I will visit another day, Ningyu said. Then, Ningyu turned around and left the #1 private room. Young master, isn't this Ningyu too arrogant? He actually agreed to fight with Zhong Wenyong. After Ningyu left, the skinny man frowned and said, "It's not that he is arrogant, it's that he has no other choice." Zhong Wenyong said, if he doesn't agree to fight with Zhong Wenyong will definitely make a move on his family. If he agrees to fight with Zhong Wenyong, he can guarantee his family's safety for a week. The Supreme Pavilion. Elder Guan, the young man that you like is really good at stirring up trouble. Xiao Yunlan smiled bitterly. How is this stirring up trouble? He has no choice. He has no choice. Do you understand? Elder Guan was not worried at all. But, Elder Guan, do you really think that Ningyu can defeat Zhong Wenyong? Although Ningyu blocked Song Fei's full power attack, Xiao Yunlan still didn't think that he could defeat Zhong Wenyong. Even if he wins by luck, the Zhong family will not let him go. You're right. It looks like we have to teach the Zhong clan a lesson. A fight between the younger generation should be left to the younger generation. Elder Guan's face turned cold and he said in a deep voice, if the older generation of the Zhong family dares to interfere, I don't mind standing behind Ningyu and supporting him. In the Supreme Pavilion, Ningyu didn't know about the conversation between Elder Guan and Xiao Yunlan. After leaving the Drunken Cloud Inn, it was already evening. Ningyu rushed home without stopping. The 400 yuan crystals that he won today, Ningyu didn't care too much about it. The thing that surprised him the most was the jade bracelet. Not bad. I didn't expect Zhong Wenyong to have such a good treasure. No wonder he was willing to use a mystic class treasure to exchange for it. Playing with the jade bracelet, Ningyu mumbled. Swoosh, swoosh. Right at this moment, 2 shadows flashed by and dashed towards Ningyu from the left and right. Not good. Putting the jade bracelet into his storage pouch, Ningyu stomped on the ground and quickly retreated. Releasing his soul perception, Ningyu's heart sank. Chapter 42. Although he knew that his opponents were 2 warriors at the peak of the post-liminary realm, Ningyu did not choose to sit still and wait for death. Instead, he secretly activated the spirit transformation technique, gathered his primordial chi on his wrist, and punched out twice. Bang! Bang! In the next moment, 2 muffled sounds came out. The 2 peak post-liminary realm warriors stopped where they were, and did not continue to attack. On the other hand, Ningyu took a few steps back before he could stabilize his body. The powerful hidden energy that came from his fists made his face very ugly. The information was wrong. His cultivation has reached the middle stage of the post-liminary realm. One of the tall men in black said gloomily. On his back, there was a blue longbow and 3 cloud-shocking arrows. His whole body was emitting a cold, murderous aura. The other fat man in black sneered and said, the middle stage of the post-liminary realm is nothing. The 2 of us have once killed an early-stage post-liminary realm warrior. Hurry up, I feel that there is a strong warrior coming this way. The tall man in black took out a cloud-shocking arrow, narked it on the bowstring, and shot it at Ningyu. Shoo! The cloud-shocking arrow flew out at an extremely fast speed, and in the blink of an eye, it appeared in front of Ningyu's chest. Break for me. Enduring the waves of hidden energy that came from his fists, Ningyu's hands quickly swept out, and in the blink of an eye, he caught the cloud-shocking arrow. With just a little bit of force, the cloud-shocking arrow was broken. Although the cloud-shocking arrow was fast, in front of Ningyu's super-strong soul perception, it was like a baby's fist, extremely slow. What? The tall man in black's expression changed. He did not expect that Ningyu's reaction would be so fast, and that even the cloud-shocking arrow could not do anything to him. Let's attack together. After exchanging a look with the fat man in black, the 2 of them immediately jumped up, wanting to fight with Ningyu in close combat. Bone-breaking palm. The tall man in black's body was filled with yuan qi, and a layer of green gas appeared on the surface of his skin. He opened his palm and punched out. Heart-digging fist. The short and stout man in black bent his body slightly, and his fists were like black tigers digging out their hearts, pointing straight at Ningyu's chest. Ningyu's eyes narrowed, and the yuan qi in his body began to circulate wildly. A huge palm print quickly appeared in front of him. Netherworld Samsara palm, absolute dus. With a low shout, Ningyu continued to pour his soul strength into the illusory palm print. When the palm print had grown to a certain size, Ningyu threw a palm strike at the two black-clothed men. Boom! Boom! The illusory palm print collided with the fists of the two men in black. 3 forces, 2 against 1, Poochie. Ningyu was sent flying by this force and crashed heavily into the ground. The two men in black had their hands struck by the illusory palm print. If they had not activated their yuan qi in time to resist, their hands would have been crippled. Shio. Shio. However, what they didn't notice was that when the illusory palm print shattered, 2 extremely fine strands of soul power entered their bodies through their palms. Who are you? Why did you attack me? While absorbing the yuan qi in the crystals, Ningyu asked, Did Zhong Wenyong send you? What Zhong Wenyong? It's Lin. The tall man in black said. However, before he finished his sentence, the short and stout man in black interrupted him and said coldly, Trying to get information from us? You're still a little too inexperienced. Is that so? The corner of Ningyu's mouth curled up, and he quietly placed his right hand behind his back. In his hand, there were several elixirs. Yin Corp's lightning pill. Go. The tall man in black roared and struck out with his palm. Waves of black gas swept out from his hand and pressed down on Ningyu's head. Give me your life. The short and stout man in black was also infuriated. Originally, with their strength, killing Ningyu should be a piece of cake. Who would have thought that they couldn't even take him down in 2 moves? If this news were to spread, how could they keep a foothold in the assassination pavilion? The short and stout man in black made up his mind. After killing Ningyu, he would chop off his head and hang it on the city walls of Tianqian City. Only then could he resolve the hatred in his heart. Go. Just as the 2 men in black were about to attack him, Ningyu's right hand suddenly stretched out from his back. He spread his fingers and used all his strength to throw the Yin Corp's lightning pill at the 2 men in black. Transcendent grade Guyuan pill? Similar to Lin Feng's reaction, the 2 men in black were momentarily stunned. While the 2 men in black were stunned, Ningyu moved his soul power. Immediately, the 2 strands of soul power hidden in their bodies exploded. The soul power explosion had a huge impact on the 2 men in black. The pain that came from the depths of their souls caused their expressions to change drastically. Bean-sized beads of sweat dripped down their foreheads. Yin Corp's lightning pill, explode for me. At this moment, Ningyu triggered the soul power in the Yin Corp's lightning pill, causing the dozens of corpse lightning pills to explode. After the corpse lightning pills exploded, the Yin Corp's qi inside quietly entered the bodies of the 2 men in black. Because their souls were being suppressed by Ningyu, they couldn't divert their attention to resist the Yin Corp's qi. This caused the Yin Corp's qi to wreak havoc in their bodies. Die. Ningyu wouldn't give them the chance. He rose from the ground and sent out several punches, all of which landed on the heads of the men in black. One after another, the 2 black-robed men were beheaded in a daze just like that. Let me see who you are. Taking a deep breath, Ningyu wanted to check the identity of the men in black. However, his expression changed. He tapped the ground with his feet and disappeared in a breath. Swoosh. Swoosh. Not long after Ningyu disappeared, 2 figures appeared. One of them squatted down in front of the men in black. He frowned and said, Yin Corp's qi, could it be people from the Corpse sect? Elder Guan, these 2 are iron plate assassins from the assassination pavilion. The Corpse sect has a good relationship with the assassination pavilion, so they shouldn't kill people from the assassination pavilion. Xiao Yunlan was also a bit surprised, but she didn't believe that it was people from the Corpse sect. Elder Guan said, it shouldn't be wrong. Aside from the Corpse sect, no one can control Yin Corp's qi. As a higher-up of Danwu College, Elder Guan had dealt with the Corpse sect a lot. He naturally knew that aside from the Corpse sect, very few people could control Yin Corp's qi. This aura, why do I feel a bit familiar? Elder Guan was a bit puzzled. From the scene, he felt a trace of a familiar aura. However, no matter how hard he thought, he couldn't think of where he had felt it before. The reason why he didn't notice the yin corpse chi at the mysterious heaven square was because Ningyu only used one corpse lightning pill. In addition, the smell of the poison-devouring powder almost covered the smell of the yin corpse chi, so it was reasonable that Elder Guan didn't notice it. But now, Ningyu detonated more than a dozen corpse lightning pills at once. With Elder Guan's soul perception, he naturally could easily detect it. I didn't expect the opening of a small 5th-grade alchemist's cave to attract people from the corpse sect. Frowning, Elder Guan said, "This won't do. I have to inform the leader of Danwu College to be careful." This time, Danwu College also sent 20 students to train in the Pill Dragon Valley. Chapter 43. In the evening, Ningyu carefully returned home. Taking out a high-grade yuan crystal from his storage bag, Ningyu activated the spiritual art and started to absorb it slowly. Today, Ningyu had taken on Song Fei's full power attack. Although it looked like nothing had happened, his real battle strength had decreased by 50%. In addition, he had killed 2 black-clothed martial artists, causing his injuries to worsen. Fortunately, the black-clothed martial artists were only at the peak of the post-liminary realm. If they were Xiantian realm martial artists, Ningyu would have been decapitated. Phew. About 2 hours later, Ningyu let out a long breath. Looking at the crystal-clear high-grade origin crystal in his hand, he murmured, "It seems that I have to cultivate the second stage of the spiritualization technique. Otherwise, the absorption of origin chi will be too slow." The spiritual art had a total of 10 levels. Each level had a different speed of absorbing yuan chi. In the end, it would increase exponentially. Ningyu never did things sloppily. He immediately put down the crystal in his hand and started to cultivate according to the second level of the spiritual art. Although Ningyu had cultivated the spiritual art to the 8th level in his previous life, he could still feel the profoundness of the mantra when cultivating again. The first level of the spiritual art was the most basic. With Ningyu's memory, there was no need to cultivate at all. From the second level onwards, he would have to cultivate again. Naturally, the speed would be much slower. However, compared to others, Ningyu's speed of cultivating the spiritual art was much faster. After all, he had the experience from his previous life. 2 hours later, Ningyu had cultivated the second level of the spiritual art to the beginner level. 4 hours later, he had achieved initial success. 6 hours later, he had cultivated to the great success stage. The spiritual art is indeed profound. Even with my comprehension ability, I still need half a day to cultivate it. Taking a deep breath, Ningyu picked up the high-grade yuan crystal on the table. He activated the spiritual art and started to absorb the yuan chi. This time, the yuan chi in the high-grade yuan crystal was decreasing at a speed visible to the naked eye. Crack. 2 hours later, a cracking sound rang out. The high-grade essence crystal in Ningyu's hand completely shattered. Not bad. Not only have my injuries healed, but I've also reached the peak of the middle stage of the Hu Tian realm. At this rate, I should be able to advance to the late stage of the Hu Tian realm in a week. Ningyu nodded as he felt the cyclone in his sea of consciousness growing larger. With a flick of his wrist, a jade bangle appeared in his hand. Looking at the jade bracelet, Ningyu's eyes revealed an undisguised passion. Zhong Wenyong actually has such a good treasure. I've really lucked out this time. With a thought, Ningyu released a strand of his soul power into the jade bangle. Hiss. However, just as his soul power came into contact with the jade bracelet, he felt a heart-wrenching pain. Then, his soul power was actually swallowed by the jade bracelet. Not bad, not bad. It is indeed a good treasure. Despite having his soul energy devoured, Ningyu did not feel upset. Instead, he smiled and said, "It really is the devouring jade bracelet. It has devoured quite a lot of soul energy." The so-called devouring jade bracelet, as its name suggested, was a jade bracelet that could devour soul energy. If a careless martial artist tried to probe the situation inside the jade bracelet without knowing what was going on, their soul energy would definitely be devoured. Right now, my soul energy has reached the early stage of the 3rd grade. As long as I refine the soul energy in this jade bracelet, I will definitely reach the peak of the 3rd grade. In the next moment, Ningyu released another 2 strands of soul energy and carefully approached the jade bracelet. Because he was prepared, Ningyu's soul energy was not devoured this time. Instead, it quietly attached itself to the jade bracelet. Soul locking spell. Raising his eyebrows, Ningyu was a little shocked. Elementary soul locking spell. Break for me. With a cold snort, 4 strands of soul energy rushed out of Ningyu's body and rushed towards the jade bracelet. Pang! Not long after, a muffled sound came from the jade bracelet. Then, Ningyu's strands of soul energy completely entered the jade bracelet. The devouring jade bracelet had one benefit. It could refine soul energy and turn it into pure soul energy. With a thought, Ningyu controlled his soul energy and guided all the soul energy out of the jade bracelet and into his body. Buzz! As soon as the soul energy entered his body, Ningyu felt a buzzing sound coming from his head. Immediately, he sat down cross-legged and began to cultivate. Devouring soul energy was dangerous. Even though it was pure soul energy, Ningyu did not dare to be careless. Pang! After devouring for a full 2 hours, a muffled sound came from his body. Ningyu stood up with a swoosh, his eyes shining brightly. Boom! His soul energy surged out of his body and was quickly suppressed by Ningyu. The strength of my soul energy has indeed reached the peak of the 3rd grade. Now, it is not difficult for me to concoct 3rd grade dance. Feeling the increase in his soul energy, Ningyu nodded to himself. His alchemy experience was still there. As long as his soul energy recovered, he would be able to concoct the same grade of dance, Netherworld Samsara Palm. Since his soul energy had increased to the peak of the 3rd grade, Ningyu naturally would not sit around and do nothing. Instead, he began to cultivate the Netherworld Samsara Palm. The Netherworld Samsara Palm was a soul attack. Its strength was not in martial arts, but in soul attacks. Ningyu had already successfully cultivated the first palm, Absolute Dust. Now that his soul energy had reached the peak of the 3rd grade, he could cultivate the second palm, Lonely Names. If Absolute Dust was a combination of martial arts and soul attack, then the second palm, Lonely Names, would be a complete soul attack. Forming a seal with his 5 fingers, the soul energy in his body circulated wildly and gathered on his palm. Go! With a low shout, 1/10 of the soul energy in his body transformed into an illusory palm and shot out. Shaw. As the palm shot out, the air rustled. In the end, it turned into nothingness and disappeared in front of the wall. Not bad. If I use my full strength to execute the second palm, Lonely Names, I should be able to condense a physical palm. Ningyu nodded his head. He was very satisfied with the power of the second palm. If he were to fight with Song Fei now, Ningyu was confident that he could block 3 of his full-strength attack. Moreover, after executing the Lonely Names palm, he had a 50% chance of escaping from Song Fei. Of course, that was only limited to escaping. If he wanted to thoroughly defeat Song Fei, Ningyu knew that he had to cultivate to the late stage of the Hutian realm, or even the peak of the Hutian realm. After all, there was a gap between the Xiantian realm and the Hutian realm that was difficult for martial artists to cross. Keeping the devouring jade bangle, Ningyu decided to make a trip to the Snow Pavilion to buy some medicinal ingredients to concoct the 3rd grade soul solidifying pill. Ningyu knew that he could cultivate to the late stage of the Hutian realm in a week by relying on the spirit transformation method. However, he did not want to wait that long. The current situation did not allow him to wait that long. Not to mention the battle with Zhong Wenyong, just the fact that he was surrounded by the black-clothed martial artists the day before made Ningyu realize the seriousness of the situation. In addition, there was the Corpse Sect's barbarian Corpse King hidden in the dark, and the Drunken Cloud Pavilion's pavilion master Song Fei that he had offended. All of them were hard to deal with. Therefore, he had to find a way to cultivate to the late stage of the Hutian realm, or even the Xiantian realm. Chapter 44. Because he had spent a lot of time cultivating, it was already noon when Ningyu arrived at Snow Domain Pavilion. This time, Ningyu did not disguise himself. After all, Elder Mo and Lu Wei already knew his identity. There was no point in hiding anymore. Young Master Ning, welcome. As soon as he entered Snow Domain Pavilion, Lu Wei greeted him with a smile. What brings you here today? Nothing much, I just want to buy some herbs. Ningyu said directly, give me 10 sets of herbs for the soul solidifying pill. Soul solidifying pill? Hearing this, Lu Wei frowned slightly, a little dazed. She knew that the soul solidifying pill was a third-grade pill, and it was one of the best among the third-grade pills. Unless one was a peak third-grade alchemist, it would be difficult to successfully refine it. Could it be that Ningyu had reached the peak of the third-grade alchemist? Thinking of this, the way Lu Wei looked at Ningyu was a little strange. This was too abnormal. How was she supposed to live? Why, you don't have it. Seeing Lu Wei's reaction, Ningyu was a little depressed. The herbs for the soul solidifying pill were not too precious, so it was impossible for Snow Domain Pavilion not to have it. Yes. After recovering, Lu Wei's face showed a difficult expression and said, but the illusionary cloud beast's core is temporarily sold out. It will take 3 days for it to arrive. Ningyu was a little disappointed because the illusionary cloud beast's core was the main ingredient for the soul solidifying pill. He could find substitutes for the other herbs, but not the core. Ningyu, if you really want it, you can try your luck at the Alchemy Union. Maybe they have it in stock. Seeing Ningyu's disappointed look, Lu Wei said, moreover, you don't have an alchemist badge yet, right? Why don't you make use of this opportunity to take the examination and obtain a second-tier apothecary emblem? It will be of great help to you when you enter Danwu College. You might even be able to make an exception and enter the college. A second-grade alchemist can enter Danwu College as an exception. Ningyu was puzzled. Every genius alchemist's time is very precious. How could they take part in the Danwu College's assessment with those martial artists? Lu Wei explained, actually, most of the people who pass the assessment to enter Danwu College are martial artists. Alchemists who are slightly more powerful have all been recruited into the college. With your talent, you will definitely be able to enter Danwu College as an exception. Of course, the prerequisite is that you must have a second-grade badge issued by the Alchemy Guild. However, I don't recommend that you make an exception and enter Danwu College. I heard that the reward for the first place in the Danwu College's assessment this time is very generous. Therefore, many geniuses who can make an exception and enter the college choose to participate in the assessment in order to obtain the first place. What's the reward for the first place? Ningyu asked without batting an eyelid. I don't know yet. However, I heard that the reward this time is the most generous since the establishment of Danwu College. Shaking her head, Lu Wei replied. Let's go to the Alchemy Guild and see if there are any illusory cloud beast cores. To Ningyu, the reward for the first place in the Danwu College's assessment was still very far away. At the very least, he wouldn't be of much help at this stage. If he wanted to raise his cultivation in a short period of time, he had to concoct the core condensing pill. He had to break through to the Hutian advanced stage as soon as possible. After leaving Snow Domain Pavilion, Ningyu and Lu Wei headed to the Alchemy Guild together. Along the way, Ningyu found out that Elder Hiroshi was in seclusion, working hard to become a 4th-grade alchemist. The moment Elder Hiroshi succeeded in becoming a 4th-grade alchemist, it would be a huge matter for Snow Domain Pavilion. At that time, he would definitely be summoned back to the capital and a grand banquet would be held. The Alchemy Guild could be found all over the continent. As for who the founder was, even Ningyu in his previous life had no idea. Most likely, the founder had already surpassed the limits of a Jizuan realm cultivator. Tianqian City's Alchemy Guild was just a few streets away from Snow Domain Pavilion. Ningyu and Lu Wei arrived at the location very quickly. Inside the Alchemy Guild, a dozen young men were queuing up to register, seemingly intending to take the alchemist examination. Welcome to the Alchemy Guild. Upon seeing Ningyu and Lu Wei enter, a lady in her 20s walked up and said, May I know how I can help you? We want to purchase the illusory cloud beast core. Lu Wei went straight to the point and said, Illusory cloud beast core? Lanche's mouth was slightly agape. Her expression was a little exaggerated. The illusory cloud beast was a 3rd-grade demonic beast. Even a dozen Xiantian realm cultivators might not be a match for it. In order to kill the illusory cloud beast, only a large number of Xiantian realm cultivators or true martial realm cultivators would be able to kill it and obtain its core. From this, it could be seen how precious the illusory cloud beast core was. The market price of the illusory cloud beast core was already at 10,000 low-grade essence crystals. Looking at Lu Wei carefully, Lanshi asked again, "Are you sure you want to purchase the core? As long as there is an illusory cloud beast core, I will buy as many as you have," Ningyu said. "Hey, aren't you afraid of biting your tongue? Do you really think that you have a crystal mine at home? That's right. An illusory cloud beast core is worth 10,000 low-grade essence crystals. Even a second-grade alchemist might not be able to take it out. Who knows, maybe he's the young master of some big family and is just trying to win the smile of a beauty. Ha ha ha." Most of these people who came to take the alchemy examination had just returned from the magical Beast Mountain range. They did not know of Ningyu's ferocious deeds. If they knew that Ningyu had killed Lin Feng, they would probably not dare to say such words. "Lanshi, what are you doing?" Suddenly, a man dressed in black walked over. There was a round badge on his shoulder with a star on it. The people who came to take the alchemy examination looked at the man with respect. Their faces were filled with envy. Most of them were looking at the badge on the man's shoulder because it meant that the man was a first-grade alchemist. Most of these people who came to take the alchemy examination were high-level alchemy apprentices. There were a few who came to take the first-grade alchemist examination. They worshipped those who could become first-grade alchemists. Turning around, Lanshi looked at the man in black and said respectfully, "Grandmaster Ma, these two want to purchase the core of the illusory cloud beast." "You want to purchase the core of the illusory cloud beast?" Casually scanning Ningyu with his soul power, Grandmaster Ma frowned and said, "The core of the illusory cloud beast is expensive. Why do you want to buy it?" After his soul power had reached the peak of 3rd grade, Ningyu could control it freely. Unless he wanted to, no one would be able to sense the strength of his soul power. Although he was disgusted by Grandmaster Ma's tone, Ningyu did not get angry. Instead, he said calmly, "I naturally have a use for it. I don't think I need to tell you, right?" "Me. Even if you don't tell me, I know. The core of the illusory cloud beast is the main ingredient for refining 3rd-grade soul solidifying pills. You must be overestimating yourself by buying it to refine soul solidifying pills." Chapter 45. Swoosh. Ningyu's face turned gloomy when he heard what Master Ma said. "Is there something wrong with this Master Ma? I did not offend him. Why is he picking on me? Master Ma, I don't think you are in charge of the Alchemy Union." Lu Wei's face darkened as well. "A mere first-grade alchemist dares to be so arrogant in front of me? I can tolerate it, but I can't." One must know that she was a second-tier pill master, but she was afraid of causing unnecessary trouble, so she did not wear the 2-star badge on her shoulder. If she were to wear the badge on her shoulder, this Master Ma would not dare to talk to them like this. "Where did you come from, little girl? I am very busy now and I have no time to talk nonsense with you." Ignoring Lu Enai's words, Master Ma said to the people queuing up, "Those who have registered, go and have your soul strength tested. Those who have not reached half a star will not need to participate in the alchemist assessment. Lanshi, go and bring the soul power ball over." "Damn it!" Lu Wei shouted angrily. "Wait." Ningyu winked at Lu Xuan, telling her not to get angry and to wait and see. If it was not for Ningyu, Lu Wei would have lost her temper and would not allow Master Ma to be so arrogant. In the capital, even a 3rd-grade alchemist would not dare to talk to her like this, let alone a 1st-grade alchemist. She did not expect to be laughed at by a 1st-grade alchemist in the small Tianxian City Alchemy Union. Hearing this, Lanshi turned and left. Moments later, Lanshi returned with a light ball the size of a head in her hand. Looking closely, there were 3 stars on the light ball. "Let me go first." A tall and muscular man stepped forward and placed his palm on the light ball. Traces of soul power entered the light ball through his palm. As the soul power entered the light ball, the first star on the light ball lit up. However, the The first star was not completely lit up. Only 1/3 of it was lit up. Unqualified. Next. Master Ma said coldly. The tall and muscular man left dejectedly. Then, a skinny man stepped forward and placed his palm on the light ball. Buzz. Before long, a star on the ball of light completely lit up. 1 star. He actually lit up a star. His soul power has reached the 1st grade. He's not even 20 years old, right? The strength of his soul force has already reached the 1st grade. There is a high possibility that he can refine the 1st grade chi gathering pill and become a true 1st grade alchemist. When the surrounding people saw the skinny man, their gazes changed. They were filled with admiration. Not bad, not bad. You actually lit up a star. I have only lit up 1.5 stars. You have a great chance of becoming a grade 1 alchemist. Master Ma nodded his head. His tone was much better now that the skinny man could become a grade 1 alchemist. Thank you, Grandmaster Ma. After bowing to Grandmaster Ma, the skinny man took a step back and stood at the side. The thin man had reached the standard, and the others were very excited. Unfortunately, out of the next dozen people, only 3 of them managed to light up half a star. The rest only managed to light up 1/3 of their stars. Why are you guys still standing there? I have already said that as long as I am in the Alchemy Union, you guys can forget about buying an illusionary cloud beast's core, Grandmaster Ma said unhappily when he saw that Ningyu and Lu Wei had not left. If I remember correctly, there is a President Ju in the Alchemy Union, right? With President Ju around, do you think you can make the decision? Ningyu said indifferently. President Ju is busy and is not around. I, Stable, have the final say in the Alchemy Union. Stable snorted. Stable? There is someone with this name. After cursing in his heart, Ningyu said calmly, actually, we have no intention of disrespecting you. We just want to buy an illusionary cloud beast's core. How about this? 1 illusionary cloud beast's core is worth 10,000 low-grade yuan crystals. I will buy it with 1 high-grade yuan crystal. How about it? 1 high-grade yuan crystal? Stable's heart skipped a beat. Although the illusionary cloud beast's core was worth 10,000 low-grade yuan crystals, which was equivalent to 1 high-grade yuan crystal, he was very clear that no one would be willing to exchange 1 high-grade yuan crystal for 10,000 low-grade yuan crystals, unless that person was a fool. The benefits of high-grade yuan crystals for cultivation far exceeded that of low-grade yuan crystals. Since you guys insist on buying an illusionary cloud beast's core, it is not impossible. Stable rolled his eyes and opened his mouth. Right now, the Alchemy Union still has 3 illusionary cloud beast's cores. As long as you can take out 30 high-grade yuan crystals, they are yours. 10 high-grade yuan crystals for an illusionary cloud beast's core? Why don't you just rob someone? Lu Wei was very angry. Stable was clearly extorting them. Ningyu, let's go. In 3 days, the Snow Domain Pavilion will ship the illusionary cloud beast's core over. Why waste money here? Lu Wei said angrily. With a flick of his wrist, 10 high-grade yuan crystals appeared in his hand. Ningyu said indifferently, let's take a look at the quality of the illusionary cloud beast's core first. As long as the quality is good, the yuan crystals are not a problem. Alright, you guys wait here. I will be back soon. Stable's eyes lit up and he immediately turned around and left. High-grade yuan crystals? Who exactly is he? He took out 10 high-grade yuan crystals without even blinking an eye. Who is he? He must be the young master of some clan. Otherwise, why would he take out 10 high-grade yuan crystals without even blinking an eye? Sigh, I was tricked by Grandmaster Ma. An illusionary cloud beast's core is not worth 10 high-grade yuan crystals. Ningyu, it's not like you don't know the price of an illusionary cloud beast's core. Exchanging 10 high-grade yuan crystals for 1 core is too much of a loss. Lu Wei complained, the market price of a condensing essence pill is about 40 high-grade yuan crystals. With so many yuan crystals, why don't you buy a condensing essence pill? Ningyu smiled and did not say anything. The market price of a condensing essence pill was indeed 40 high-grade yuan crystals. However, That was only the price of an ordinary low-grade condensing essence pill. A mid-grade condensing essence pill was worth 100 high-grade yuan crystals. A high-grade condensing essence pill was worth 300 high-grade yuan crystals. A supreme condensing essence pill was worth a terrifying 1,000 high-grade yuan crystals. If he wanted the best, Ningyu would not choose a low-grade condensing essence pill. He wanted to personally refine a supreme condensing essence pill and break through to the late stage of the Hutian realm. 10 minutes later, the stable master carefully walked towards Ningyu with a jade box in his hand. "Stable, don't you dare lie to me. Otherwise, I will make you suffer." Beside the stable, a middle-aged man frowned slightly. His face was slightly pale. "How would I dare to lie to you? There are indeed people who are willing to spend 10 high-grade yuan crystals to buy an illusionary cloud beast's core. They are two young people, a man and a woman." The stable master said flatteringly, "How can I make the decision for such an important matter? Hence, I asked you to come out and take charge of the situation." Not bad. At least you know what's good for you." The middle-aged man grunted softly and looked towards Ningyu and Lu Wei. With one look, the middle-aged man was slightly stunned. His eyes widened and his face was filled with disbelief. "Pa, you're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.